Welcome to Watch, Review, Repeat. This is the podcast where two best friends discuss the latest in film and television and then do it all over again the following episode. My name is Colton Brown. Joining me, fellow IMF agent Andrew Meadows.
I am here. I chose to accept the mission.
Yes. Again, for perhaps the 8th time you've chosen to accept.
I thought it was going to be the last time.
But it might be the final time. I don't know. We'll have to get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
But it could be. It could be. We'll see. Maybe it probably depends somewhat on, the whole business side of things. How much money is something like Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning making? And story-wise, maybe, where would it go? Where would it go from here? All things we're going to talk about when we talk about the movie. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It's been, I think 2 years since Dead Reckoning Part 1 came out, and it's been never since Dead Reckoning Part 2 came out. It mysteriously morphed into The Final Reckoning at some point. But yeah, it maybe is the end. I mean, generally speaking, when you put final in a title, or at least in a subtitle, I'll say, because, they've made like 20 Final Destination movies, and obviously they were not intended to be the last ones of that franchise. But yeah, you put the final something in the subtitle, it feels like, I don't know, man, is this it? Is this it? Is Tom Cruise finally realizing that he's like 60-something years old and it's time to hang it up? I don't know. Maybe he did one stunt too many and fell off a plane, and and that's that, and that's the end of Tom Cruise. I don't know, but yeah, we're gonna talk about The Final Reckoning. I'm excited to get into it. I think we've covered the Mission Impossible franchise pretty extensively in the past. We did a big bonus episode, I think maybe pre-Fallout, which was many years ago now, pre-COVID, if that helps put things in perspective. But only 2 years since Dead Reckoning Part 1. But yeah, we're gonna get there later. Right now, maybe we should get into something else. Maybe, I don't know, either a fun fact or a dad joke. If IMF agent Meadows has one on tap available.
Do I ever?
Okay, it's a good one. You think it's a good one?
I think it's a pretty good one. It made me giggle a little bit in a dad joke kind of way. But
all right, a little chuckle perhaps.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see if I agree. A guffaw.
Exactly. I had to wiggle my glasses back on my face after I got the little chuckle.
All right, let's see if it's a collective guffaw.
Jesus, it's too early for me to start laughing like this. All right. What do you call a droid that takes the long way around?
Oh, okay. All right. Droid. Robo. Slope. Poke. Robo.
Think more. Think more Star Warsy.
R2D2. R2 Detour.
Yes.
Did I get it?
Yes.
Fuck yeah! All right. Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow.
R2 Detour. Congratulations, dude. That's awesome.
Oh man. I can safely say that's the first time I've gotten one right solo. I think Enrique and I kind of roughly simultaneously got one.
Yeah.
I think on I guess the Daredevil episode, if I recall correctly. But man, two right in the span of 3 episodes. That's
You sure Anna's not pregnant? You might have a bun in the oven, sir.
Oh yeah, that's I don't know. I guess
either that or my dad, or with 2 babies.
You're radiating double dad energy, and it's infecting the podcast. I think that's
exactly
probably the more likely scenario, but I guess
the aura. Just I have an aura about me.
That's right. Well,
all right.
Interestingly enough, I have a fun fact, which I think is actually, I don't know, pretty relevant to something you just said. So I'm gonna lay it on you if you're ready.
All right.
You may have heard of an actor by the name of Hayley Atwell, and you may recognize her from things like Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, maybe also Captain America: The First Avenger and Avengers: Endgame.
Peggy.
Peggy Carter. I don't know. Was she in Avengers Endgame? Maybe that's wishful. I feel like she was in the end, right? Wasn't that a thing?
If she wasn't, she certainly should have.
She should have been. She should have been. Maybe she'll be in another Avengers movie. I don't know. She was Captain Carter in What If and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. So she was in those. I can definitely say that. However, you would recognize her probably most recently, again, from Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and something really interesting. In classic movie making fashion, they did some reshoots here and there, and they actually redid a fight sequence that takes place pretty early on in the film. There's like an escape sequence, I guess, if that makes sense, if that tells you what it is, involving her and Tom Cruise. Okay. And so at one point when they went back to reshoot that sequence, Haley Atwell was 8.5 months pregnant. And still doing some fight sequence.
8.5 months pregnant.
8.5. That's really down to the wire in terms of the pregnancy and stuff. So anyway, I just thought you are someone living with someone who is not even quite that, but pretty fucking close. Just have that sort of imagination of going and shooting some fight sequences and how that might work. So.
Wow.
And I will say she agreed to do it. I'm sure that they made sure that it was safe and not going to affect her pregnancy, for her to do this. So it's not like some horrible thing like these mean men made her do it or anything like that. Like, I think she wanted to do it. She wanted to feel like a badass. And hey man, if you're 8.5 months pregnant and you can do a fight sequence, that's some badassery right there, I would say. So,
man,
very impressive. And then obviously I don't know if there was camera tricks or just some digital trickery involved to, make sure that we couldn't tell, because I definitely couldn't. I had no idea.
Tell. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty impressive, right?
Pretty badass.
Pretty badass. So, I could have spent 5 minutes talking about Tom Cruise being a crazy asshole hanging out of a fucking biplane, but we're going to do that when we talk about the movie, and maybe the other crazy shenanigans that the cruise missile was up to in The Final Reckoning. It's a nearly 3-hour film, and he gets up to some shenanigans in it. And so we're going to get into all that, but for now, let's turn our attention to some headlines. We've got a few headlines here, a few trailers. I know at least one trailer that I think Andrew's going to be pretty excited to talk about. At least one, maybe a few, but at least one.
Maybe a few. We'll talk about
maybe
them.
Best for last. Who's to say? We'll see. We'll talk about it. But let's start with some headlines. Let's start on the headlines side of things with some news about Narnia. We're getting more Narnia films, which is to say we are getting a new version of Narnia films, not a continuation of the three Narnia movies that were made. Kind of, I guess probably more when we were growing up, you know what I mean? But we've got some casting news. And something that we did already know, and I think we probably talked about this a little bit, is that the movie is going to be made by Greta Gerwig, who did Barbie most recently, and has directed a few other things, but obviously Barbie's a big movie, had a lot of cultural impact, made a good amount of money and all that stuff. She's going to be reteaming with one of the Barbies from Barbie, not Margot Robbie, but Emma Mackey, who is going to be playing the White Witch in the upcoming Narnia movie. The role that we would remember Tilda Swinton playing in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And she's joining a cast that also already includes Daniel Craig as the uncle of Diggory Kirk, a very British boy, and Meryl Streep as Aslan, the lion. So, what do you think about that? Is that? Are you a Narnia person? Are you like? Have you ever read the books?
I remember really. Never read the books, no, but I remember enjoying the. Shows, and I remember at that whenever those came, or the movies, whenever those movies came out, I was in church, and there was a lot of biblical.
For sure, like, the entire
crossover.
Book series has a lot of religious undertones. C.S. Lewis was very religious and not afraid to put that into his works. I mean, he wasn't hiding it. Let's put it that way.
It's been a long time since I've seen him, though,
sure.
So I don't know how they aged or anything. I would imagine that Meryl Streep taking the role of Aslan is going to upset a lot of like, oh yeah, you gotta cast a woman for that role, blah blah.
Yeah.
I can
even though
I
it's
can hear
fucking
that.
Meryl Streep. But yes, I agree.
And even though it's a fucking lion,
and it's a lion,
but
yep. Well, it's not a lioness. So
right.
it's totally ruining the source material.
It looks to me like it's got quite the cast.
Quite the cast,
Whoa.
yeah. Oh, and Carey Mulligan as well.
What'd you do, baby?
Carey Mulligan in this as well.
The baby just opened the door in here. He's never opened this door before.
Oh, he did it by himself.
Yeah. And when he opened it, the door swung open and he fell down.
It said, Narnia, this is my time to shine.
Uh-huh.
Hi.
What are you doing, baby?
Hi, baby B.
You want dice? All right, I'll give you one dice.
He likes to come in and steal your dice. I think he's done that
One
on a
dice,
recent episode as well.
One dice. Close my door behind you. Close my door. Close my door, little baby. He opened it up, and then he fell in. He didn't expect to open it up. I look over and he's looking up at the sky. Just, I gave him one.
Okay, come on.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. Carey Mulligan has also joined the cast, and I think I don't know if you know who she's playing quite yet. But what I will say, I guess maybe something to note about this is apparently going to be an adaptation of The Magician's Nephew, which is the first in the series chronologically, but was the 6th book published. So there's a classic debate of whether you should actually start with The Magician's Nephew, because it kind of is written in a way that presumes that you understand things that happen after the fact, and it's expected you to have read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So I don't know. We'll see how they kind of handle that. I mean, I can't remember exactly. Like, I feel like I remember seeing something that she's maybe going to make more than once, and maybe she will do this and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and they'll kind of work together because it sort of feeds into each other. I think there's a pretty big time jump, but also there's weird timey-wimey shenanigans with the whole Narnia thing anyway, too. So I don't know. It's interesting. And it's also on Netflix. So it's also a Netflix movie, but it is getting a 2-week IMAX global run when it comes out in Thanksgiving of 2026 before it actually jumps to Netflix. So it is going to get a small theatrical release. So lots of interesting things happening with this Narnia movie, I would say. So I'm intrigued. I would mark myself as intrigued. Would you
with this
concur?
cast, there is no reason why this should not be something spectacular.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, aside from the source material, I mean, I don't know how good that source material is, but it's a pretty celebrated thing.
Most of them, and I feel like I did actually read The Magician's Nephew. I think I had read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but I feel like I didn't read it. Like, I definitely haven't read them all, so I don't know what order I would have read them in.
Right.
I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what Greta's doing. She's earned my trust, I would say. Between this and the Little Women movie that she did, which I thought was really great. So yeah, there we go. That's our Narnia headline. Now, our next couple headlines are kind of circling back to things that we would have talked about relatively recently. I would say within the past few episodes, I think roughly. We talked a little bit about what DC Studios was up to, with their upcoming plan, past Superman, past Peacemaker, and Lanterns, and all that kind of stuff, that Supergirl, stuff that was already in production. And one of the things that we had been talking about was this movie called Sergeant Rock, which Daniel Craig was maybe attached to at one point, and then maybe Colin Farrell was attached to at one point, and it was going to be directed by Luca Guadagnino, who did Challengers most recently. He's done Call Me by Your Name. He's supposed to do an American Psycho movie. He's kind of at the point now where like he has like 800 projects announced at once. It's like, well, I guess maybe we should just expect that not all of these are going to happen. Oh, and Queer, which was another one that I didn't see, but that came out last year with Daniel Craig as well. So the news is that it's apparently not moving forward, this Sergeant Rock movie. And it was supposed to shoot this summer, but that's not happening. It was in pre-production. It was going to shoot in England. They were starting to cast beyond Colin Farrell, and they shut it down. So I don't know if Luca had cold feet. I don't know what exactly happened. And there's still, it sounds like a possibility that just because it's not shooting this year, maybe they just start shelving it for now and they will come back to it and make it, in the next year or two, maybe once Luca's schedule frees up. I don't really know. So it may still happen, but for now it's not happening in this iteration anyway. So yeah, what do you think? Was this anything you were looking forward to? So do you feel sort of indifferent that like, okay, well, whatever?
I mean, I like a Colin Farrell thing. You know what I mean? I don't know anything about Sergeant Rock.
Was he being too greedy by trying to do multiple DC characters? Is that what happened? People were mad at Colin Farrell. It's like, no. Just because you're a handsome man regularly doesn't mean you can be a handsome man in this movie and a big fucking penguin looking motherfucker
and another one. Yeah. No, I think he's so and I think this is going to be a theme that we talk about this maybe this episode, at least this headline trailer kind of deal, is people you don't quite recognize, and I think if you can't recognize them while they're in their role, then then he can play too.
Then go for it.
He can play too.
I mean, we've also literally had
Chris Hemsworth. He's played too, and you can clearly recognize him.
You were right. Like Evans has played,
Hey, what did I say, Chris? I said something.
The other Chris, one of the other Chris's. All the Chris's have done many superhero things at this point. But yeah, it's like Human Torch and Captain America. It's okay. And in fact, he's literally gone back and played Human Torch since becoming Captain America.
That's
and
right. He double dipped.
It was
double
fine.
Down.
It was totally fine. So it's definitely allowed. Mahershala Ali, if that Blade movie ever gets made, lest we forget, he was Cottonmouth in Luke Cage for a few episodes anyway. So, it happens and that would be okay. I don't know. A World War II DC movie sounded interesting to me. With Luca Guadagnino directing definitely made me intrigued and interested in this. So yeah, it's a weird sort of, development, but hopefully it happens at some point. I think, it sounds like it could be interesting. I mean, you obviously still have to make sure that Superman does all right. Otherwise, all this DC studio stuff is going to come crashing down very, very quickly, I would imagine. But I think Superman is in good hands, and I do think that the audiences are probably going to be receptive to a Superman movie that's not dour and depressing. So yeah. All right. Well, maybe no Sergeant Rock for now, but at least we have Avengers movies to look forward to in the near future. My producer is chiming in and saying you're going to have to wait a little bit longer for those Avengers movies. We just talked about them, maybe literally last episode. We're getting hyped about all the fucking X-Men coming back and, maybe some of those Thunderbolts coming back too. Alongside Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, maybe a little less enthusiastic about that part still. But yeah, just on the heels of us finally talking about the fucking 6-hour stream of chairs with names on it, we've learned that Marvel Studios has pushed back both Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars about 6 months each. So we are now looking at Avengers Doomsday opening on December 18th of 2026 instead of May 1st, 2026, and Avengers Secret Wars opening December 17th, 2027 instead of May 7th, 2027. So both move from May to December of 2026 and 2027. Which, okay, I think
that's 6 months lead time on both.
6 months for each. I think certainly Doomsday is in production now. I think an extra 6 months isn't going to hurt in terms of, extra time for filming and post-production and visual effects. You don't want your big Avengers marquee movie to look like shit or kind of like shit. So, I think that from that standpoint, I think it makes sense. And obviously it gives them more lead time for Secret Wars as well. So I'm not mad about this. Would I like to see movies sooner? Generally speaking, yes. But if it is a case of you need to do this to make it better, I think that's usually acceptable. You know what I mean? The one weird side effect of this, and we'll see what happens if this indeed does come to pass. If we have a Barbenheimer type thing happen, even though I guess they would probably share a lot of the same audiences. Doomsday is now on the same date as Dune Messiah, which feels not sustainable for either Marvel / Disney or WB.
The Clash of the Titans. Oh man,
and like I said, it's like not really Barbenheimer in the true sense because those movies theoretically had pretty different audiences. I think there was unexpected crossover, but at the same time, definitely intended, generally speaking, for different people. Whereas I think Avengers and Dune has a decent amount of crossover. I mean, obviously, I think Avengers is probably somewhat more of a casual thing, and Dune is maybe
hard
a little
sci-fi,
bit, little harder sci-fi. Intended to be a little less casual, but like both are going to put asses in seats. So I have to imagine someone's going to move. I would be shocked if both movies come out, mid-December, week before Christmas. I mean, I could be wrong. Have been wrong before. Not often, mind you. Basically never. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. That just doesn't feel like a good idea for either party. I mean, for like they both independently make sense. Like, all right, Avatar has done well in the December season. Star Wars has done well. Like it makes sense to have like a sort of Christmassy sort of thing of a big movie. Like obviously, Avengers has very traditionally been a big summer blockbuster, so this will be a change of pace for its release schedule. But it could work. And same thing for Dune. I mean, Dune was maybe November for the first one, and then the second one got bumped from the strikes into March of 24.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. They could certainly play anytime, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But we'll be waiting. We'll be waiting a while for any of those.
Yeah, that's right. A little bit longer.
So that's that, and we're also going to be waiting as our final headline for an Alex Garland film.
I thought he was done. I clicked on your news article
that.
halfway. I have like split screen, so I can't quite see like the full. So it's on the laptop, and I got a small itty bitty screen on my laptop, and I can't quite see the full document. I see Alex Garland. I click on it. What the fuck is this news?
There's a lot to dissect from it. So I guess we'll start by just saying Alex Garland is writing and directing a live-action Elden Ring film for A24, which will also be co-produced by Bandai Namco Entertainment, who I guess did something with Elden Ring, I would presume. But yeah, there was a whole thing. I feel like we talked about it. Not that we saw Warfare, but I feel like he had said either maybe post Civil War or post or in the making of Warfare that like he was ready to not direct anymore. He was going to take a step back, and here he is making like what is one of the most popular recent video games. A huge fantasy epic sort of thing, and like this feels unlike anything that he's ever made in terms of the potential scale of something like this. So
did Alex Garland run into like money issues?
It's possible,
I feel like this is a money issue kind of thing.
Like, I really like money. It's pretty cool. I could buy another house and buy a new car. I don't know, but I'm gonna bet that he's getting a solid chunk of change to make an Elden Ring movie. Yeah, man. What do you think about all of this? Like I said, there's so much to dissect here, but what do you think, man?
I think all the Souls games. So I played a little bit of Elden Ring. I played probably
that's a good place to start.
20, 30
Did you actually
hours.
play this in the first place? Okay,
I didn't beat it.
It's a big long game.
Not by a long shot, but I did put some hours into it. I know a bunch of people that have like it's Ben's favorite game.
People love this game. Critically acclaimed, sold a lot. It's it Game of the Year awards and stuff like
it's a big one.
It's a big one. Like even more than maybe even the Souls games themselves. Like it feels like this.
It's the culmination of the Soul games. You know what I mean?
Sure,
like it's
yeah.
Perfect form Soul game to some people. Yeah. Anyways, it's got cool lore if you're into like those soul kind of games. Like it's got the same kind of flavor to it as a lot of those games.
But there's no real narrative drive unless you make it for yourself, right? Isn't that still kind of true to some extent?
Yeah, like you find the narrative. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
it's not a traditional.
It's very, very ambiguous. Very ambiguous.
Right.
You find the lore through like flavor text of the item of a sword or whatever. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And don't get me wrong, like boss, you know about the bosses and stuff because they tell you about it in the intro. But and they're ambiguous by nature. Everything's kind of ambiguous in these games, and which is cool for Garland. I think that fits. Like I think a lot of the way he writes and stuff. I think a lot of it is like you explore the narrative. You know what I mean, and you get what you can pull from it and that sort of thing. So I think in that sense it fits. He's never done fantasy, as far as I know. It's always been sci-fi, right?
And right, definitely more on the sci-fi side of things, or just neither, with something like Warfare. This is definitely very different for what we've seen him do. And I think just the scale of something like this, in theory, I mean, just the design, this feels like it's going to be something that would require a pretty extensive budget, but I guess maybe it begs the question of like, how do you really adapt this video game into a movie? And I think the answer is you could probably do it a million different ways because it's not just one set in stone story type of thing.
Yeah.
So it could be, I guess, a little bit smaller scale than I'm envisioning as like to me, I'm like, this is a $200 million movie.
Lord of the
right?
Rings kind of, maybe it's a trilogy or something like that.
It
right?
feels like it should be something like that. But then on the other hand, it's A24, who is not a company known for exactly throwing money at movies. Obviously, like they do great work for the indie side of things, and like I don't know, but this just feels totally both
everything
for A24 and Alex
different.
Garland feels very out of their usual depth, which doesn't mean it can't work, but it is kind of just like, oh, well, what the fuck is this going to be? So, is it just everyone going big or going home? Or is it something a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more, small than we are maybe, going to expect from something that is Elden Ring, that is an adaptation of this massively open world, fantasy RPG action game, So I don't know.
I don't know. It could go a lot of
I don't know.
ways.
I don't know. I mean, I'm really fucking intrigued. I'm fascinated to see, he's writing it too, so it's not totally just a Guy Ritchie style paycheck movie, It's a beloved franchise or I guess a beloved game, not really franchise. I guess franchise if you included this part of the Souls franchise. But like, I don't know. Like, he's got to be doing this for some reason. Money is one reason, and I don't think that we should discount that as a reason. But I do think that, like, based on the fact that he's,
I'm sure the dude's going to come to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's going to come.
Like,
to
I don't think he's going to phone it in. I don't think so. That he's not he doesn't strike me as the kind of person that will just phone it in. To this point in his career, he has not been someone to just phone it in. Like, he is making a thing because there's something about it that drives him to make it. Maybe he's a big fucking Elden Ring guy. Maybe like
he could be.
He's thinking about, well, I don't really want to fucking direct anymore because I could just spend all my time
playing Elden Ring.
Like, I've made enough money now that I can just sit my ass at home and play fucking Elden Ring all day, and I'm totally fine.
And then
most people don't have that
rings.
luxury, but now I do.
Hey, Alex, you want to make an Elden Ring movie? And he's like, fuck yeah, I want to make an Elden Ring movie.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I don't know. Very interesting. I do want to play Elden Ring at some point in my life, but I've also said that about every Souls game. I think I played like 4 hours of Demon Souls, the remake they did for the PS5 and stuff. So that's my problem with video games.
I think those ones
I want
are
to play all of them, and I
because
just don't
they're
have
so
time.
linear. There's a lot.
That's
in Elden
true.
Ring.
Yeah, and Elden Ring's an open world. Like, I don't think. Yeah, that's what it is. Like,
with
I wouldn't want to go to Elden Ring first because I think that I would get overwhelmed very, very quickly and be like, I'm good. I don't.
Yeah, there's just a lot. You know, I don't do good with open world games. I get pulled in too many directions, and I get burnt out. You know.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that's a doozy of a headline, and it's and as I said, it's the final headline. So we've got some trailers to talk about. One, I think, first one called a movie called The Smashing Machine. I think you've sort of alluded to it, of maybe actors transforming themselves.
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
Well, it's a movie from writer-director Benny Safdie, one half of the Safdie brothers, and it's got Dwayne, not The Rock, just Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, it's his brother. That's why I don't recognize him. That's why. Okay,
that's right. Yeah, he's like, is that The Rock? I don't know. It's a big jacked guy, but he's got hair. His nose looks a little bit different.
His brows a little bit different.
The eyebrows aren't quite right. Something's going on here.
I had no idea.
His voice is a little different. You know, it's like a subtle, like the voice. You know, he's not throwing an accent in there or anything like that, but it's different. You know. So did you not immediately recognize that?
No, I didn't recognize it. Okay. I didn't. I was trying to figure out who this enormous man is. The entire trailer.
They can't just find any guy that looks like that on the streets.
Yeah, it's like, who is this guy? It's a new up and coming guy. And then it said Dwayne Johnson, and I was like, oh, I can see him. I can see it in the eyes. You know,
he's in there. He's in there somewhere.
He's in there somewhere. What type of dark magic is this?
It's pretty good. I mean, I feel like it's also making. I mean, it's actually interesting to make someone who is so obviously recognizable for being a comically large man and keeping him as the comically large man. Like, his physique is just The Rock's physique.
That's right.
But just enough with the face, the hair. Maybe the hair probably does a lot of work. Although he's bald in parts of this trailer too. You know, like it feels like they've done a pretty good job of making him look like a different person, and not like there's a couple moments I think where
you can see a little bit of it, but
yeah, but on the whole, and it's not quite as like overall as impressive as like Colin Farrell's Penguin transformation. Like, that's just a different man. That's not Colin Farrell in there anymore. That's a different man. This is mostly a different man, but sometimes The Rock. Sometimes I can kind of see it, or I can tell that it's The Rock with something on his face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, but it is him in there.
But it is a good step above. Like, we've seen, you know, it's not Guy Pearce as an old man makeup. You know, it's not Leo as J. Edgar Hoover. You know, like it's pretty good. It's not even Joseph Gordon-Levitt with his Bruce Willis makeup from Looper, where it's like that's just not a man at all. That's a man wearing prosthetics. You know, it's pretty good. So I think in terms of transformation, it's pretty good.
I give it like a solid 90-95% out of 100.
It's pretty good.
It's almost entirely transformative. Like,
it's like, all right.
Not entirely transformative.
He's playing a big muscly man who does fighting, which is pretty on brand for him. But it kind of feels like, I don't know, man. Kind of feels like Dwayne Johnson's maybe trying to try out this whole acting thing,
and
you know,
I think he's
and
probably
stretch a little bit.
It. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's like one of those classic sort of things where like he does the one thing well because that's just kind of who he is. And now maybe we're getting an opportunity to see him be like, look, I can be a serious actor too. You know, I choose to be the same character in every movie that I'm ever in because that's what I do. But I don't always have to be that guy.
Let me show you a different
I think we're seeing shades of it here. So
I think he's nailing it. This trailer gave me goosebumps. Okay. I think Emily Blunt is looking pretty attractive in this movie. I think
she's looking good. Yeah. Sure.
It looks like an emotional movie. I don't know. It just looks like a really real movie. You know what I mean? Looks like a real movie, or like a movie with real people. That's probably the best way to put that.
Well, I think it also is literally about real people. I think it's
it's a biopic.
I think it's about a real dude, which I'm not. You know, UFC,
I remember when
MMA
UFC was Pride. As a little kid, I remember. I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but I remember it. And I remember there were some badass people in it too. I'd like watch clips and stuff. And I don't know this guy, you know, or really any of the guys. I just remember the blue genie logo. You can see it in here. I'm really excited about this. Kind of reminds me of The Wrestler, and The Wrestler was absolutely incredible. It was such a good movie. Also, we need to talk about that trailer too. I don't think we didn't. It's not in the trailers. Darren Aronofsky is making like a fucking.
Oh, is he doing like an AI movie or some shit?
It looked kind of like AI. It looked like.
Well, maybe I'm thinking of something different. What is he up to most recently?
Darren Aronofsky is making a movie that is kind of like Hard Rollers. It's like it's almost like a Guy Ritchie kind of like crime thing.
Oh yeah.
And it's got Butler in it, Austin Butler.
Oh yeah, Caught Stealing. I did see that the trailer came out, but yeah, no, I haven't put it on the.
I kind of
reel
don't know how to
us to
feel
look
about it. I
at.
kind of think it looks like fucking horse shit, which is
Okay. Yeah. All right. What's Aronofsky doing? I swear there was an announcement where like he's like making some AI shit.
I was like,
too.
what?
I'm
I was like, what is
nah.
this movie? This movie looks.
And when he's making shit with AI, not about AI, which is worse for sure. You can make things about AI, aka Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, but you can also do it without using AI to actually accomplish that. And I don't think that's the case for what he's apparently working on.
Yeah, I don't know what it is
his
exactly. I don't exactly what
thing.
it is, but it's like his shot at humor and stuff. And it's like, dude, you know what you like. It's like, maybe I'm tired of making like deeply super dark fucking moody movies, and I want to do a comedy or something.
Maybe, yeah, stepping outside, or just Guy Ritchie paychecking it.
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what he's up to. I'd have to rewatch to tell you the truth. But this one right here looks like a good one. The Smashing Machine.
I think so too. A24 rarely misses. Looks like we've got a hit October 3rd.
It's
so we
almost a
had the
birthday
theaters.
movie.
Almost. Yeah, that's true. So looking forward to the Smashing Machine. Sounds like for both of us. Moving into our next trailer, something that's coming out in a week, basically. But I'd say we haven't had a chance to talk about it, but also like I feel like they started the marketing cycle pretty damn late. A movie called The Life of Chuck, and it's stars Tom Hiddleston, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillan, Mark Hamill. It's based off of a Stephen King novella. What did this trailer for? It's Neon, same kind of deal. Like, all right, A24 does their thing, and Neon does their thing. They put out some pretty good shit from time to time, or at least pretty frequently, maybe. What do you think? Did this look like anything?
Yeah, this one
grabbed you.
Yeah, it grabbed me. I actually, I kind of got teary eyed in this trailer, and I'm not quite sure why. I don't know what it is.
Minute and 56 seconds. That's all it takes sometimes.
It almost reminded me. There's a movie that came out a long time ago called The Tree of Life, I think.
Yeah, the Terrence Malick one.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just I feel like I get the gist of this movie. Like they kind of they don't really superimpose anything, but I mean it's like they show the guy you're like in his young age, and then they show him as a kid, and then they show him older. You know what I mean? And it's something like when you can kind of poetically put everything together, like encapsulate somebody's life and in 2 hours or whatever, in an artful way. I think it's, I think he can make for like a powerful vision of what it is to be human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the classic mid-trailer poll quote was based something about it being "It's a Wonderful Life" for like modern audiences or something along those lines.
Yeah, like that's.
And like that's the kind of movie that does exactly what you're saying. It's just a guy's life, but fuck me if after 2 hours you aren't, just
like you
all in on George Bailey, and I feel like I don't know, we might be all in on Chuck, after 2 hours or however long watching this movie. If this trailer is any indication, and it's Tom Hiddleston. I mean, Tom Hiddleston and others obviously playing him at various points in his life, but Tom Hiddleston in the lead, kind of that alone was like, all right, I'm sort of on board just from that. From
Mark Hamill's in it too, and he looks
Mark
pretty.
Hamill's in it.
I didn't
he looks
really
good.
immediately recognize him. Be honest with you.
looking a little older. I mean, obviously he is older, but I think also being made up
Actually,
a little
to be
older.
honest with you, I kind of thought it was Paul Giamatti at first, a little bit.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
When I first saw him.
Yeah, no, I mean, makes sense. So,
I don't know what it is about this trailer. This trailer was just, it was
but I got
very,
you.
it was potent for me. I think this is something very good. Something I'll probably stream. Just probably won't find the time to get to
you're gonna be pretty busy because this comes out June 13th. So you're gonna be pretty busy in the near future, we'll say. And this again, it feels like this is the first time we're talking about it, and it comes out in a week basically, and it's like, I don't know, like I would like to see this, and I probably would enjoy seeing it in the theaters. I don't know that I will. I'm pretty confident in saying you won't, just because of circumstances.
Be busy. Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to watch this at some point, if nothing else, though. So yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad I included it in here. And
it looks like a real good one. I'm excited.
Hopefully, we get a chance to watch it at some point. If not, June 13th.
I think it might be. I think that one might be a winner actually for something.
Okay.
I'm
Bold
putting it
prediction.
out there. Yeah, bold prediction. I think that one's going to be a winner or something.
All right. Well, we've got another sort of Stephen King adaptation coming this fall to HBO Max. That's right. HBO Max is back. Max is being left in the dust. They're branding it back. And now the streamer will be called HBO Max once again, but not yet. I don't think it's actually happened yet. But yeah, we're getting an It prequel. We're going to go back to where It all began, and It Welcome to Derry. Official teaser came out, and yeah, I guess it's not strictly speaking based off of the It novel, because we obviously had 2 movies that kind of did that already, but it is a continuation of that. Bill Skarsgård is at least involved in some capacity. I think Andy Muschietti, who directed those It movies, is producing. I don't know if he might have done a little bit more with this too. But yeah, what do you think? Are you ready to go to Derry at an earlier point in time and experience the horrors with all these children and all that jazz? What do you think?
No, I don't need that.
Oh, okay. All right. No? All right.
I mean, it does not appear that they went back to like the creation of the clown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is like
they didn't go back far enough. They're just like it's
1960s or 70s. It's just a few decades back from when they were kids or whatever.
It's just another It, just said a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, and I also feel like the beats of this, I'm just like, oh, it's just it.
It's just it,
like,
right?
It's
exactly.
just it
with the bathtub
in a slightly
and
different time period. Yeah, it's like the drain and everything. It's like not only is this like it's just doing the same thing, and I guess a TV format, but again, it's supposed to be connected. So it's like, I don't know. I guess I thought this would be doing something that isn't just the same thing over again.
Right.
Especially because we just got those 2 It movies within, I don't know, I guess a few years now, but still, like, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it's going to offer anything new to the franchise that we haven't already seen, to me. And like, if it can't justify its own existence without just being a rehash of previous things, like why should I care? So I don't know. I mean, HBO has a pretty good track record. Obviously they don't hit every single time. I would like for this to be good. It very well could be good, even if it is a rehash, but I guess I'm on the same page of like, I'm not really interested. This didn't grab me at all. This actually probably made me significantly less interested than I probably was based on the concept of an It prequel alone. You know what I mean? So yeah. It Chapter 2 came out in 2019. That's longer than I realized, but still, it's still recent in my head. It's recent enough that this doesn't offer anything for me. So, but maybe this fall it will offer something to others that aren't us. Now, our last 3 trailers, Netflix did a big thing. They did their ta-dum event, ta-dum, because it's the thing, it's the sound, in which they brought out Lady Gaga and others, and people were there to be like, look at all this shit coming out to Netflix this year. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be great. Don't mind that you're paying $30 now for 4K or however much it is these days. It's totally going to be worth it. And you know what? there are a few things that I will say make me think, yeah, I guess I will pay that $30 on a monthly basis. You sons of bitches. So there's some things that we are not going to talk about here. I think they put out like a Wednesday trailer or some footage from it for season 2. I'm sure there's other stuff that is not totally on our radar, but I'm going to highlight 3 things that are very much on our radar, starting with Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. We got a date announcement with some footage and kind of a full cast announcement. Daniel Craig's got some longer hair. Rian Johnson is writing and directing yet again. Benoit Blanc is on the case. He's on the case again. He's picked up another case, and that's a case that we're going to be able to watch December 12th, 2025.
That's
so later this year.
That's awesome.
Obviously still many months away, but we are going to be getting it. Joining Daniel Craig, Josh O'Connor, Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Kerry Washington, Andrew Scott, Kaylee Spaney, Daryl McCormick, and Thomas Hayden Church. So yet another impressive cast assembled by Rian Johnson. What do you think? You excited?
Jeremy Renner?
Jeremy's in it.
I see him in the trailer.
Yeah, he's in the trailer. He's there, and he's looking good.
He's looking good. Good for him.
This must have been filmed post getting, run over by the snow plow, right? So he's clearly doing okay.
Good for him. Yeah, I'm all here, dude. Benoit Blanc is the superior detective when compared to other large cast
Hercule
whodunit
Poirot
movies. Yeah, for sure.
I say Mr. Mustache Man himself.
Yeah, I do prefer Benoit Blanc.
Okay, yeah. I'm not inclined to disagree. I think that both Knives Out and Glass Onion were top tier.
They're just very stylish. I like the way that they're styled, and I like how it's kind of hammy, but it's not like super hammy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just
it's just the right balance. He just Rian Johnson just knows how to nail it tonally and write it in a way that's interesting. And I don't know, like Glass Onion was somewhat topical in its own sort of way. You know what I mean? Like it's relevant, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. He knows what he's doing, and I guess Netflix knew what they were doing when they shelled out $500 million or whatever for these fucking movies.
God damn.
But yeah, very much looking forward to over $400 million. Big difference. Sorry, it was only over $400 million, which could be $500 million. Over $400 million. So is it a billion? Is it $3 billion?
It could be a lot of things, right?
That's actually pretty vague when you put it that way. But I assume it was probably just somewhere north of
403. Yeah, right.
Yeah, 403, 405, something like that. December 12th. I am here for it. I hope it gets. I think Glass Onion had a little small, limited theatrical window.
It did. Did I see it in theaters? I don't think I did.
I know I did. I don't know if you did. I can't specifically recall.
I think we did.
I would prefer to see this in a theater. Basically anything on Netflix that I'm like, oh, this doesn't look like a piece of shit Netflix movie. I'm like, yeah, I would probably prefer to watch this in a theater.
We'll talk about something that probably should deserve a theatrical release.
Yes, perhaps. Yes, indeed.
Perhaps. Also, Daryl McCormick spells Daryl McCormick the same way I spell Daryl.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm really digging that. Like, I don't know what that font's called. It's like that old English.
Oh yeah,
like
the old timey sort of font. Yeah,
yeah.
No,
good. Big fan. Very tasteful deployment of
stylish
of the almost illegible font, especially at the speed they want you to read it. There's no way you have to pause
the cast one especially.
Yeah.
It's
like, oh, there's
look at all these fucking names in this.
It's like, I have no idea who's in this fucking
barely
movie
legible.
Right
now. Well, if you pause it, you'll find.
I did have to pause it.
Jeremy Renner is Dr. Nat Sharp.
Dr. Nat Sharp. What a name.
Yeah. Hell of a name right there.
I can't tell you how much I'm here for this.
Glenn Close is Martha Delacroix.
Ooh, I love it. It ends in the X. Delacroix. Very cool.
All right.
Very, very cool.
All right. Well, before we swing back over to that trailer, which I've teased, and
Thomas Hayden
and
Church is Samson Holt. Very cool name too.
Samson Holt. Yeah, good names. We have another date announcement for one of Netflix's biggest original shows, Stranger Things. Stranger Things 5, the total conclusion to it all. It's happening this year, just barely, but it is technically happening this year. We're going to be getting 3 drops of the final season of Stranger Things. So we're going to get Volume 1 on November 26th.
3 movies.
3 movies, because they are probably all going to be an hour plus each. So yeah, 3 movies on basically Thanksgiving, another however many movies on Christmas, and then we're going to get the big final movie, the final Reckoning movie for Stranger Things 5 on New Year's Eve. So just under the wire of it coming out in 2025, but they can say that it came out in 2025. So I can't remember. I'm going to check and see how many episodes it actually is. But we got like a little bit of footage in this, not a ton, I wouldn't say. But obviously there's a lot of footage that is going to be packed into these things. So it's going to be 8 total. So Volume 1 is 4, Volume 2 is 3, and then the finale is obviously just the one episode. But yeah, if the last season is any indication, all those are basically going to be movies in terms of runtime and developments and stuff like that. So where's your hype meter for Stranger Things 5? Is it are you feeling it? Are you ready for it? Does it feel like, man, these kids are fucking 30 years old now?
Well, I feel like 11 looks like
that's a grown woman.
Yeah, 11 looks like what's her face? I can't think of her name. It looks like what's his face's mom?
Winona Ryder.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's gone full circle. You know,
Yeah.
There's a couple of comments that I read that I very much feel when you're looking at social media about the about Stranger Things 5 and how long it's taken for like them to wrap up 5 seasons of the show. I read one that said like I met my girlfriend, I got married, and I got divorced all before the show was over. It's like, I feel that.
Well, I'll say that might literally be true for you, potentially.
Yeah, I felt that one. It was very funny. Yeah, so five. I don't know. It's been a long time. How long has it been?
You have a kid that is as old as the kids were when the first season of Stranger Things came out. Now, no, that's not quite right.
That's not quite right.
Might as well be.
It's close.
It's. I don't think it's been more than a couple years since 4 came out, but since the first season came out, I guess that's maybe the question that you're posing.
What,
season 1,
15, 14?
Pretty close. July 15th of 2016 is when the first season dropped.
Yeah.
So it will basically be pretty fucking close to a full decade
for 5 seasons.
The show for 5 seasons.
So 2 years, 2 years per.
Roughly, and it's actually been 3 years since 4 came out. So and again, I'm sure it's because they're making fucking 9 movies or 8 movies or whatever, and like obviously that takes a long time, and there's a lot of visual effects to this too, and big cast, getting everyone in there. David Harbour's thunderbolting about, and still around. Everyone else is probably having a relatively successful career. Millie Bobby Brown, which is not cosplaying Winona Ryder, is Enola Holmes like 7 times, and another Netflix movie where she's like fighting a dragon or some shit. So
she is the Netflix baby, though, for sure. I feel like
they've got a great relationship going. That's for sure. Very, very synergistic for both of them, it seems. So
good for them.
I am not quite at the point of fuck yeah, I'm so hyped because it's so far away still, and it is kind of just like, I don't know, I'm not quite ready. But Anna teed up the idea of doing a full rewatch, and I'm like,
Jesus Christ, that's a
lot. But it is the last season, so I guess if there's a time to do it, it would be this one. And, as long as they don't Game of Thrones it, the last time I did a big fucking massive series rewatch for the final season of something that I was pretty hyped for, as long as it surpasses that, then maybe it would be worth it.
You better start now. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. What's crazy? How many episodes do you think there are in total, though? And this is not runtime. I'm sure we'd have to do a separate calculation for that, but...
How many episodes? 5 seasons total, excluding the 5th season. Are we excluding the 5th season?
I assume, yes, excluding the 5th season.
I think it's a pretty tight show overall. I think it's probably what 8 times. I would say 8 times 4. So
yeah,
what?
That's pretty much right. 34. So
okay, yeah.
So, yeah, 34 episodes, which
not
doesn't
bad.
feel like a lot.
No.
You think about, your procedural TV shows, 20, 25 episodes a pop, obviously when some of those are movie length, it's a bit of a different story.
But still, 30, it's pretty digestible.
It feels doable when you think about it that way. When you think about it of 10 years worth of shit, well, it's not really, you know what I mean? It's just they've just been taking so fucking long to make it that's what it's turned out to be.
It's 10 years worth of movies. Think about 34 movies. How long has the MCU been
I could
around?
watch 34 movies. I've watched 34 movies. Yeah, I mean, I think Thunderbolts was more than 34. So,
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I guess if you think about it in that regard, 10 years in MCU, because I mean, that's effectively what Stranger. They have a very different model, Yeah. It's hard to try to make them fit within the standard television kind of thing, But it has,
Definitely,
and it's also very easy to see that it's taken a long time to make them because the characters have aged out of their roles,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Are they still pretending they're in high school? I can't remember. I don't know if they've just decided that there's been enough.
We can't do this anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, they're not pretending that they're in middle school or whatever they were initially. They've definitely gotten past that.
Bobby Brown's got kids now, so I don't.
Yeah.
And what's his face? Will run. He's doing the whole shaking head like he's very excited about something. I don't know. I'm relatively excited.
I'm relatively excited as well. I think my hype will build more the closer we get to it, the more footage we get. Once it starts to feel like, all right, it's finally happening, then I think I will be like, okay, I think I'm in. Right now, I'm like, I will be in, but I'm not there yet. So, yeah. Stranger Things 5. Three fucking drops, starting basically Thanksgiving. But let's talk about that one trailer that we've been talking about, sort of, without actually talking about. Why don't you do the honors of talking about it, setting this up, telling the listeners what maybe has you pretty fucking stoked for what's coming to Netflix this year?
There's a director. His name is Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, yes, it is.
And Guillermo del Toro makes excellent films. He makes a certain kind of film. He makes monster films, I feel like. That's kind of like his thing. He likes practical effects. He likes larger than life stories, fantastical stories. He has made a movie or is making a movie that's rooted in classic fiction. Frankenstein. He's making a Frankenstein movie.
Yeah.
There's been a handful of Frankenstein movies made in the past. There's been Frankenstein's. There's Van Helsing's and stuff like that include Frankenstein's monsters.
Sure.
But Frankenstein itself, a movie about Frankenstein, just kind of trying to encapsulate the novel. I feel like those movies are there's not a whole lot of those out there. I think that I don't know, and I think it's a really interesting story. I think it's awesome. I really think it's a very awesome story, and I think it's one that is perfect for Guillermo del Toro. We got a teaser, which I think kind of walks the line of a trailer. It's a pretty long teaser, I think.
Yeah.
And we got one, and it looks to me, it looks to be spectacular. It looks to be, I can't think of, we talked earlier about, Elden Ring being the culmination of all the Soul-type games.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, to me, could very easily be the culmination of every Guillermo del Toro movie. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Like you have the monster, but then you have the sympathy for the monster, and then you go to understand that the Frankenstein's monster. You have the sympathy for the Frankenstein's monster, but then you also come to understand Frankenstein himself. It's a very, I don't know. Frankenstein's a very good book, and this movie looks to be incredible. It looks stylish, and it looks larger than life. It looks well acted. It's got fucking Poe Dameron in it, and he's
Poe Dameron.
Poe Dameron is freaking Frankenstein.
He's Victor Frankenstein. That's right. Poe Dameron. Oscar
Who is
sometimes.
Frankenstein's monster? Is that Christoph Waltz?
No, it's Jacob Elordi, from Euphoria, Saltburn, other things.
Oh,
probably.
is that was the good looking kid?
Sure. Nate from Euphoria. Does that mean anything to anyone?
No, not really.
I didn't see Saltburn, so I can't.
In Euphoria, you have the girl that's been talking about playing Zelda, and then you have what's her face with Sweeney. You got Sweeney.
Yeah, I got Sydney Sweeney,
and then you got this guy
in there.
Zendaya. Yeah, you got Zendaya, and then you got
this guy.
You got this guy. So yeah, okay, it's him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, one of the big players. Yeah. So, and you don't really get a good look at the monster. Maybe that's the teaser side of things, is we're not showing you the goddamn design just yet. But Del Toro's cooking.
No, but there's so many like stylistic things in here, like from the technology that he uses to resurrect Frankenstein. One of the big staples that makes Guillermo del Toro so amazing is his world building, right? And like the practical effects and just the set design, and everything just feels so lived in and so real.
All right, it's very real. Yeah,
It takes it really does a super awesome job. He does an incredible job of taking something fantastical and making it feel real. He's just an incredible storyteller. He's easily one of my favorite storytellers. And this movie looks like it's no exception. I really feel like Netflix is probably the perfect platform for him to make movies. Like, it seems like they have just unlimited budget, and they just,
it kind of just seems like
make what you want.
His biggest struggle in Hollywood has been getting fucking the money to make the shit that he wants to make, because it's not necessarily the cheapest thing, and more often than not, it doesn't do that well because it's not made for everyone. You know what I mean? Like, and that's okay. But for people like you and I, it's fucking 100%, 110% the kind of shit that we eat up, and he does it so well. And I feel like, him with Pinocchio and then now into this, it kind of feels like maybe he's kind of found that match that it's just like, hey man, you want to make your weird shit? Great. We've got the platform for you, and we'll give you the money to do it.
Yeah.
And it kind of works out for all parties. I mean, again, same thing. I do hope that we at least get some sort of theatrical release for something like this, because I think, will I watch a Del Toro movie on Netflix at home? Yeah, definitely. But would I prefer to experience it in a theater first? Yeah, also probably true, So I don't know, but we'll see. This is November. This is November of this year, so it is coming out later this year, which is very, very exciting, and it looks to be yet another notch in the belt of Del Toro's filmography of just visually stunning, great cast. Obviously, it's playing with classic, material, which is just throwing his little Del Toro shine on it, and like that alone is very exciting, I think, for me. So,
like, if you were to ask me who would make a better Frankenstein movie, if it would be Nosferatu's
Robert Eggers, Dr. Eggman,
Dr. Eggman, or Del Toro, I'd probably always say Del Toro. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Now, Del Toro also made a vampire movie, and he made it awesome, and he made it his own.
True.
You know what I mean? But a Nosferatu kind of movie, I would say it was probably not Del Toro. I think Eggers that leans more towards Eggers. You know, both of them have. I think both of them have similar skill sets. You know what I mean? Just I think that's what makes them such awesome storytellers. It's they're unique filmmakers, Eggers and Del Toro.
Yeah, definitely, and not interchangeable. But
no, definitely not interchangeable. But
you can categorize them in the same way of just true auteurs committed to the craft and just wildly creative and
committed. They're just very
committed to the craft and just they will not shortchange you. You're not gonna. Doesn't mean that every decision they make is going to be 100% to your tastes, but you know that it is true and authentic to their vision of a story. Be it Nosferatu, be it Frankenstein, be it whatever. Like they're fucking going for it, and they are going for it because that's the way they want to go for it. So, and I have a lot of respect for filmmakers like that who are just unabashedly themselves and not afraid to make movies that are unabashedly what they want to make. And when Netflix comes calling and says, what do you want to do? And you're Mr. Del Toro and you say, I'd like to make a fucking Frankenstein movie. And they're like, okay, here's, I don't know, many millions of dollars. I don't know exactly how many millions of dollars. I don't know. Probably like, I don't know.
100 million?
No, I'd say probably less. Probably like 50, 60, something like that would be my rough guess.
50, 60
Because I feel like, yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll see when. I don't think it's been reported yet.
I don't think Netflix ever reports that, do they?
We might get rough estimates of budgets. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, that's Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. It's not actually called that. It's just called Frankenstein. But it's Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, just as Pinocchio is.
It's not Mary.
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
What's her name? Mary
Shelley. Go home.
It's not Mary Shelley's.
You dead lady. Go home to your casket that you're probably buried in. It's Guillermo del Toro's time to shine.
Del Toro's now, bitch.
That's a good thing to say, right? Okay.
Probably
just making sure.
I take it back.
Yeah, we should probably take it back. I guess we will. All right, that's it for headlines, trailers, and all lots of good things we're looking forward to. Some interesting things certainly too. But that means we've got to I don't know, maybe hitch a ride on a couple biplanes, maybe submerge ourselves and get ready to talk about Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Are you ready?
I'm here.
Ready to accept this mission?
Let me have a flashback of my life real quick.
Yeah, I remember that one time that I stole the one thing. Oh yeah, you do? Okay. Well, in case you didn't remember, here it is.
I will accept the mission. Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Do you want to flash back to maybe another couple things before? Ethan Hunt, you are just the craziest son of a bitch. Everything you've done.
Let me remember me hanging off that side.
And by everything you've done, here's 10 minutes of everything you've done. Okay. All right. You're good. All right. No,
although I don't seem to remember me getting into a motorcycle duel. I don't remember that.
Yeah, they glossed over that. That was interesting. They didn't even show the cool fucking scarf thing, man.
No, yeah.
Or that was Dougray. I guess that wasn't.
Yeah,
actually
he wasn't
Tom Cruise,
there for that.
He wasn't doing this. Yeah, he wasn't there. That's true. That's a notable, but acceptable exclusion.
But he did slap back tires on a motorcycle.
He sure did. Hell yeah. And he took calls on the Grand Canyon, although maybe we saw a little bit of that.
You saw him hanging backwards on the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that's badass, man.
Resting.
Pretty sick, dude.
He's crazy.
Anyway, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. It is in theaters now. Written by Christopher McQuarrie and Eric Jenderson. Directed by Christopher McQuarrie, returning for his 4th Mission Impossible film. It stars the cruise missile himself, Mr. Tom Cruise, alongside sometimes 8.5-month pregnant, but probably not for most of the principal photography, Haley Atwell. Mainstays, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Esai Morales, Palm Clementieff, Henry Czerny, Angela Bassett, and many, many more. There's a big fucking list of names that I could read. And if Anna were here, she'd get mad at me for doing it, but I cut myself off. I'm showing restraint so we can talk about the movie. In The Final Reckoning, Ethan Hunt and his impossible mission force team work to prevent the Entity, a rogue AI, from unleashing global destruction against humanity. Ready for a box office breakdown? Box office breakdown. I am the Entity. I know everything about the box office.
Let me flash your eyeballs.
Yep. Very good. It's like pretty good. Doing pretty good. Doing like pretty good. You know. It's I believe scored a series high opening weekend. When it came out. It came out over the Memorial Day weekend. $64 million over its standard 3-day weekend, $79 million across the 4-day holiday weekend. And what that was, I believe, the biggest opening for the franchise. However, it was not good enough for number one. It got shredded by Lilo and Stitch, the live-action Disney remake, which did incredibly well. But it made for the biggest Memorial Day weekend in domestic box office history, with all films combining for a record-breaking $334.5 million. Dropped about 57% in its second weekend, which is, you know, not amazing, but kind of like it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's... I don't think it really had steep competition or anything like that, so it's probably suggestive of the fact that it's, you know, not going to have amazing legs overall, but it's playing pretty well overseas too, which is obviously something to consider. So it's about $360 million worldwide. Couple weeks into its release, it's probably going to pace to become one of the higher grossing entries in the franchise, at least domestically. We'll see kind of where it stacks up compared to, everything, all the other movies in the franchise internationally. But all in all, pretty good. If there's anything that maybe makes it feel like, I don't know, it's the fact that the movie cost roughly $300 to $400 million to make. Which is a lot of money to throw at a single movie. That's a healthy budget. That's a very healthy budget, and certainly you can see it. It's a globe-trotting movie, as you know these past few have been. It's got big extended stunt set pieces. It's there's a lot going on. That money is going somewhere, also into Tom Cruise's pocket, of course. So you can see it on screen, but I do think that certainly limits the box office potential in the sense that it needs to make stupid amounts of money for it to really be profitable. So TBD on whether it really reaches the profit threshold that it needs. But yeah, I don't know. We'll kind of have to wait and see how it fully shapes up in terms of whether it's a good overall end result, I guess, on the box office front. But why don't we talk about whether it was a good overall end result on the non-box office front, on the non-spoilers front, you saw this movie in theaters. Did you IMAX it? What'd you do?
I did.
Did you do
I woke up
something special?
Like 8:00 on Sunday, and I picked up my father-in-law at 9, and I was at Veterans IMAX, a laser IMAX.
Okay.
At 10 o'clock. Is when I went.
10 a.m. Sunday morning.
I did not get out until 2 p.m.
So I was going to say, and then you started your day properly at 2 something p.m. probably. Yeah.
So that's to say that this movie should be experienced in IMAX. I think. I think that a large portion. If it did different aspect ratios, I didn't.
Well, I can't speak for your showing, but I can definitely say that there are certain things where it expanded in mine.
Okay. Well, then it probably did. It probably did. But what I can say is the portions that were shot in IMAX were spectacular. They were very.
It's basically the big stunt set pieces that were shot in IMAX. I think.
Yeah,
that's the.
And they're not short set pieces either. They're
lengthy. Extended.
It's a pretty movie, is what I'll say. It's a well shot action movie. It's not the best shot action movie, but it's not so it's content to zoom out. You know, a lot of action movies are like right up in the action. You know what I mean? This is a movie that is
too close. It's hard to follow.
Yeah, and it's purposely shot like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This movie is purposely shot the opposite. It's purposely shot back. I want to show you everything. You know, and that
we're doing this shit for real. We're spending $300 million on this fucking thing. We are not hiding what we're doing.
No, you know, and it's in modern filmmaking, when everything is shot practically and it's all real, it's really something special. Which is, you know, we've almost gone full circle with this sort of stuff. You know, like when you get something that is real, it's just, oh my god, wow!
It's so refreshing. It's like,
so refreshing.
They can do that. You're allowed to do that,
right? Exactly. And it's really a shame. I feel like I'm turning into an old person daily, with multiple things, not just like
stop yelling at those clouds,
but like development and all sorts of things happening around me. I just constantly feel like I'm turning into an old man. But yeah, when something is shot practically, when somebody is exerting themselves to like not die while they shoot something, and you know, like it extra care and extra thought gets put into a shot. It just really shows. It makes something very special. Especially when everything else is, you know, just content to be made in a computer. So, I think the hallmark of, especially with the last, I don't know, probably 4 Mission Impossibles. I don't know if it's always been the case. I don't think it's always been the case, but seems like it's been the case for this past several years to go the extra mile and make a practical movie. You know, do these action shots practically. We're doing it for real. You know,
sure. Yeah.
And they wear that as a badge of honor. You know, that's said in the marketing materials, and they
every few years, what crazy shit is Tom Cruise doing this time?
Exactly.
Oh, he's climbing the Burj Khalifa. Oh, he's hanging off the side of a fucking goddamn airplane. He's doing a halo jump out of a jet or whatever. You know, it's always something. He's driving a motorcycle off a goddamn mountain.
Yeah,
he's doing something.
The marketing materials reflect that. It's a badge of honor for these people to say, "Hey, this is something we're doing for real. This is not something made in a computer. We're building an enormous ramp on top of a mountain to jump a motorcycle off 5 fucking times. This is something for real.
We're making movies, man.
We're making movies.
We're making
movies. We're not, you know, we're not sitting around making movies. We are making this shit. And that's cool. That's really cool. I really respect it. I think it's something very special. And so, so with regards of how it's shot, I think it's shot spectacularly. I think behind the scenes is something very special. The stunts is something special. I think the color in this movie is, I think it's a very pretty movie, superficially, you know. I think it's just shot well, and the colors are pretty, and I think that the color palette is well picked. I think that I don't think now this movie isn't without its shortcomings. I think that this movie is very long. I think that this movie is so where some of the Mission Impossibles had a fair amount of humor. I think the humor in this movie, I think the humor in this movie was lacking, at least to like alleviate some of the time. Like it kind of felt monotonous with the kind of like the mood and tone that they maintained throughout the entire movie for the entire 3 hours. There were moments of humor, but
it's maybe maybe more serious, too serious overall?
It's too serious for too long.
Okay.
Like it just
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
it became one note, I think.
Not balanced the same way that
exactly.
previous entries have
and
been.
I think when you make a 3-hour movie, I think it really helps out with the pacing and cadence if you can kind of like break that up. The dynamics, if you can work those dynamics a little bit better. I think that I also thought the score was kind of lacking in dynamics as well. I think that the score was very loud and there's a word I'm looking for, but I'm a bottle of wine in, so probably can't find my word. It's a bomb word. I was trying to use a bomb word. Bombastic. That's not a word, is it?
Bombastic?
Bombastic. That's the word. Yes.
Okay.
It was a bombastic score. It was very loud and very like it was constantly. I felt like the score was constantly up.
Okay.
And I didn't hear a lot of like low points in the score. At least not that I didn't recognize. I felt like it was just very loud all the time.
Okay.
And yeah, but I will say I think the best thing about this movie was the action. That a lot of the action sequence, there's one sequence in particular that's very uncomfortable to watch. I did not enjoy watching it at all. It made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I think probably more extensively in spoilers.
Yeah, just
assuming we're thinking of the same
I reached
thing,
for popcorn. I was out of popcorn. My father-in-law ate the popcorn, so I just started chewing my nails, and it was just very uncomfortable. and it was I don't know. It was probably like 11 o'clock or noon or something. It's like I don't have a beer. I don't have anything to soften this blow. I'm just gonna eat my fingers. And so I ate my fingers while I watched it, and I actually chewed my fingernails down to there quick. Like I got out, my fingernails actually fucking hurt. I have problems, dude. We don't need to talk about my problems, but there was one sequence very difficult and uncomfortable for me to watch, and other parts were really fun.
Yeah.
Sure. I think the big gripe I have on this movie was the score seemed one note, and the tone felt largely one note. And it was 3 hours of that note, so
yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of movie in here.
Yeah. So that's
there's as we talked about, there's a lot of other movies in this 3-hour movie too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's designed in a way. It's just like, you maybe haven't seen these other Mission Impossible movies recently.
So let me try to wrap it up.
Here's 10 minutes of them for you, just to pad this runtime from 2 hours and 40 minutes to 2 hours and 50 minutes. Probably could have gotten away with, not leaning into that as much, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I did rewatch Dead Reckoning Part 1. Because once upon a time, this was Dead Reckoning Part 2, and then strikes caused some production delays, and then at a certain point, they reconfigured it into The Final Reckoning, which is still a dog shit title for anyone wondering. Although they managed to work it into the dialogue a few times. They did it with Dead Reckoning, I think it said, like, towards the beginning of the movie, and then this one, this will be your final reckoning, Ethan. It was like, okay, all right. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Like, I really, really enjoyed Dead Reckoning Part 1. I probably enjoyed this one the same amount. And I think, interestingly, they have similar structural problems in the sense that I think that there's a lot of very clunky exposition up front. And then once it kind of gets to the point where it's comfortable moving into the stunts, the set pieces, and kind of letting the movie actually just play out the way it should play out. Like, we've gotten past 45 minutes of narrative dog shit. Not dog shit in a sense that it's bad, but just like there's got to be there's probably a way for both those movies to tell that 45 minutes in about 20, and I think you get a better paced movie. But I almost to me, I didn't really feel the 3 hours in this, because it's like once you got past that 45-minute segment, it really hits the ground running, and it never, to me, lost steam. And so I kind of I don't know, it If you're gonna structure a movie in a way that it's more boring up front, like that's better than the alternative of starting really strong and then petering out with and ending with a whimper. So it at least does kind of have the trajectory of a lot of build up, too much build up, too many flashbacks, blah blah blah. But once it really kind of gets there, I feel like it did it pretty well.
I feel like they explained
I was hooked into it.
I feel like they explained like the whole thrust of the movie like 3 times, 4 times.
There's a lot of that. It's
like maybe our idea is so complex that you don't get it. So let me explain it 2, 3, 4 more times.
Yeah, the dialogue is definitely repetitive and unnecessarily so. I think it's like to me it feels like a classic. We have to assume the person watching this movie is the dumbest motherfucker alive, and we have to really make sure that they understand it, and then 95% of the theater-going audience is like, yeah, I get it, And then there's like probably like 20% they're like, yeah, I just watched Dead Reckoning like 2 days ago, so I definitely remember this shit. Thank you very much, or like I understand that this is an AI and this is what it's trying to do and all that jazz. So that I do think. I mean, it's to me, it's really. I think it's mostly like within the first hour or so where it's that's the biggest culprit. I mean, I guess there's probably a little bit of it throughout a little bit. But to me, that's just that first clunky exposition part before it really figures its shit out and gets to the point where it's more engaging and thrilling and has like an actual pace and rhythm, of how the movie's supposed to flow. So, but yeah, I mean, for me, I enjoyed the stunts. I enjoyed the set pieces. I enjoyed the cast. I mean, the cast is good as always. I would say, I mean, again, I probably enjoyed it about as much as I enjoyed Dead Reckoning. I think probably what I would recognize is I feel like, especially having rewatched Dead Reckoning, which I think would have been the first time that I watched it since it came out in theaters, is I feel like that had a pretty gripping, or at least like a meaningful arc for like Haley Atwell's character. This one, to me, I felt like it didn't really feel like the characters got big arcs or anything like that. It kind of just felt like this is fucking end of the world shit. 3 hours of we've got to stop this. And so there's not a lot of room for growth for everyone. There's just so much like big shit happening all the time. As you kind of said, and I think it's a really astute observation. The tone is so serious and kind of somber, and not in like a Zack Snyder DC sort of way or anything like that, but in a way that it is losing some of the charm and the spark that made those previous Mission Impossible movies work so well, is because they are peak blockbuster in the sense that they are these big fucking things happening, and it's fun, but it's fun. I guess that's kind of the way to put it. Like, this is still fun. There's still a lot of fun in this, but it is pretty serious when you kind of dissect it, and think about it that way. Like, it doesn't leave a lot of room for the humor to shine through. And I don't know. I mean, I guess if you think about it as like a final entry point in this franchise, which it could be, it may not be. Again, we'll get into that more in spoilers. Like, it's kind of closer to something like No Time to Die, or it's just like serious, very big serious movie. And like James Bond's always been, I think, a bit more serious. Like, obviously when something revolves around this secret agency called the Impossible Mission Force, like, it's ridiculous to start with. That's the point. I think that but it still kind of felt like it was trying to be a little too serious. So, and again, I think that like plot wise, I think it's interesting, and I think there's things that it does that are interesting. But there are things to me that were unnecessary. Like, there's a lot of callbacks to stuff from previous movies where I'm just like, some of it's fine, some of it's pretty good, some of it's like weird fan servicey sort of things that really didn't add anything, I didn't think. I don't know. It's weird because I feel like I look at this movie and think about it, and I'm like, yeah, I guess maybe it isn't as good as some of the other ones. But I'll tell you, like, when I was watching it in the moment, I was having a blast.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I did see it in IMAX. I saw it. I saw it a Sunday. I saw Sunday as well, but I did it on Sunday night. I did Sunday 6 p.m. Although I did try to see it at 10 a.m. I actually tried to see this at 10 a.m. previously.
Wow.
on Memorial Day, Anna and I went to the theater, and we literally went to the theater, and we had gotten coffee, and we tried to bring the coffee in, and they're like, "Yo, you can't bring the coffee in," and she was like, "I'm not watching a 3-hour movie without coffee. Like, I'm just not doing it."
They wouldn't let you bring the fucking coffee in?
And I asked, I was like,
"Can we buy coffee?
Do you guys sell coffee? Like, we'll buy coffee if you guys have it." Like, no. I was like, all right, well, we're just gonna leave. That's what we have A-list. It's like whatever.
That's what I told Sarah's dad, because we showed up with McDonald's coffee. He's like, "You think that will let me bring my coffee in?" I was like, "Well,
did you get in with it?
If they don't sell coffee, well, then they should let us in with coffee. Like, we're just drinking coffee, you know." And he left it in the car, and I threw it away. I drank my coffee before we.
Oh, okay. So you didn't really have to try.
Yeah. No, but.
Yeah, no, we tried to bring it in, and we were denied. And it's like, I understand the rule. I worked at a theater for many years myself. I understand that there's a no outside food and drink policy. I do think, like,
a little bit of discretion.
Movie theaters also don't sell spaghetti, so you shouldn't bring spaghetti into a movie theater, or perhaps corn on the cob you should not bring in as well, although you can, and has been done. It has been done in the past. I can attest to that. But coffee is a pretty reasonable thing. Like, I would have never stopped someone bringing in coffee unless they were bringing in like a Keurig machine and like a box of pods. Then I might be like,
"Come on now,
I don't know about that."
That's
you know what
unreasonable.
I mean?
But what if I bring in, I don't know, like a McDonald's? I would have been walking in with a McDonald's cup of coffee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's like fair. Like, and again, if they sold coffee, we probably would have just bought coffee. I don't think you should bring in microwave popcorn, because you can buy popcorn there. I understand it's overpriced, but I can tell you it tastes better than microwave popcorn, and like there's like little like candy. Like, we'll sneak candy in because it's easy to sneak in. Coffee's a little harder to sneak in. It's like, I know they sell candy, but I don't want to pay $5 for a box. I want to pay $1. You know what I mean? So
yeah, of course. It's part of the...
Anyway, point being, we did not see it at 10 a.m. I think it was fine. Interestingly enough, Anna, like, by the time I went, she was like, I don't want to go. So I ended up seeing it myself. And that sequence that you're talking about, the one that made you chew your fingernails down to the bone, I told her after the fact, and I was like, honestly, I think you would not have done well with that sequence alone, because it is long and stressful.
If we're talking
so I told her,
I wonder if we're talking about the same one. Surely we are.
I have to imagine we are, but we'll get there. But yeah, I don't know. Guess I'm spinning my wheels a little bit here. I had a lot of fun with it. I think you can pick it apart a little bit. I do agree it's probably a little more serious. I mean, I liked some aspects of that. Like, it is pretty fucking hardcore in the sense of like what the stakes are. Like, the stakes have never been higher for Ethan Hunt and his team, and what does that mean? Like, I think that it's pretty fucking it's going for it, man. Like, it is a vision of a future where things are really fucking horrible, and it's certainly a worthwhile mission for the team to accept, to try to prevent.
Is it not a realistic mission either?
It's not unrealistic.
It doesn't seem too.
It's not super far fetched. Yeah, I mean that. Like, it's not like, obviously it's a worst case scenario for probably the world of, but it's not wholly far fetched, right?
No, I don't think it is.
There's a little AI and stuff, but like, I don't know, man. AI is pretty prevalent these days, so it's kind of like.
And to the untrained eye, to somebody that isn't going to like go through, like, Google just released their new AI video thing. I don't know if you know about this or not, but
I don't know that I know a lot, but I feel like I've seen stuff about it.
Yeah, like, I mean, at the end of the day, right? Google has an AI that does voice, it does video, and it's like, if you do just like in passing watch a video, it's very easy for you to probably like say, "Oh, okay, it's probably real,"
Right? Yeah.
Unless you dissect the video, unless you know what to look for, things are going to get pretty hairy in the next 10 years. Pretty hairy indeed. So, I don't know.
Who's to say? Maybe there could be a rogue AI that,
And is it even rogue? Is somebody not controlling it? Somebody could be controlling it, and you wouldn't know it.
Right? That's true. And maybe that's.
I I told
that would certainly be a problem in and of itself too. So
I told work this the other day, not to get on a tangent, but we are on the precipice of a human revolution. Like, we are experiencing the electricity. You know what I mean? The spread of electricity, or the invention of the car. Okay, we're experiencing now with AI. Like, we are on the precipice of a huge human thing. Life on Earth is going to change within the next 3 decades, probably, in an enormous way, very, very fast. And it's I don't know, I don't know how to make the most of it or anything else, but it's pretty scary to think about. It's pretty worrying, Things are changing pretty quick, dude.
Yep, it's an interesting world we live in. I don't really know what else to say, but yeah, yep. Our reality is changing by the day, by the week,
very
by the
quickly,
month, by the year. So yep, very quickly indeed. Yep. So right, I mean, point being,
there could be a rogue AI out there.
Missions force versus the AI. It's not too far out
the
there.
Matrix,
It really
is
isn't.
it too far out there? I don't know. That one's a little bit further out there, but
maybe we'll get there quicker than you think. Maybe we will. I don't know. All right. Well, I probably have other thoughts, but thoughts that I could probably say in spoilers. So should we move on to our recommendation for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning? Would you recommend people watch it in theaters, wait to watch it at home on streaming 4K, or wait until someone pays you to watch it?
This movie is unlike a lot of movies that you will see in period, so much of this movie is practical. So much of this movie leverages larger format, like screens, larger format experiences. I would wholeheartedly encourage anyone listening to experience this in the biggest way possible. It is I think it's probably a radically different experience in a smaller theater. So, big theater experience, I think, is the way to do this. I think as long as you temper your expectations for like character development and that sort of thing, and just kind of know that you're going in for spectacle over substance. I mean, it's not without substance, but it's not the most character driven thing out there. It's kind of leaning on the fact that you've got 8 other Mission Impossible movies to kind of know what kind of tone you're getting into. So as long as you temper your expectations with that, I think you'll have 3 hours of spectacle, and I think that's it was enough for me. So I encourage theater experience.
I also would encourage a theater trip for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I saw it in IMAX. I think it's definitely worth seeing in IMAX if you can. What I will say, I'm surprised that you didn't recognize this happening. There's a sequence where Tom Cruise, and I won't spoil the sequence or what happens from this point. There's a point where he turns a valve, and the aspect ratio expands in sync with the valve opening. So he opens it a little bit, and then it opens up a little bit, and then he turns the valve a little bit more, and then it continues opening up, and it's like 5 seconds maybe, and it's like that's the coolest fucking IMAX expanding aspect ratio thing I've ever seen.
I don't think I recognized it. I know, and talking about turning valves and stuff.
It's where he's leaving the hatch of somewhere and then descending somewhere else. We'll say, that's where it happened. I was like, that's fucking awesome. Sinners did it pretty well because it at least had the fluid expanding. I feel like the early days of here's IMAX footage and then here's non-IMAX footage, it kind of just felt like a just jarring jump back and forth, just if it's shot in the full frame, you're getting the full frame. If it's not, it's jumping back and forth. And then sometimes I feel like The Dark Knight Rises definitely had it where it's just here's an establishing shot, IMAX, cities and then just normal, and then like sometimes it would just kind of cut between. I was like, oh, this is a little jarring.
Now they go.
Now it's like, let's expand, and then we'll retract a little bit where we need to. Yeah, I think they've done a better job of making it a more fluid visual experience where it's not just like, oh, big fucking thing, oh, small thing, okay, all right, like it's pretty good now. This is the kind of movie that totally benefits from seeing it in big loud format, and I think because it just helps you lock in. I mean, honestly, like I think that there's probably portions in the first 30 minutes of this movie where you might be like at home being like, oh, look at my phone, but I think that like letting yourself lock in into a theater like gets you really invested and locked in. And again, I think once it kind of gets past maybe the clunkier bits, once it really hits the ground running, like I was fucking locked in. I was locked in for 2 straight hours. Like I thought I would feel the runtime, but I really didn't. And I think that in a theater, I was just immersed, like totally immersed in this.
It pays off,
I wasn't seeing it on like the most amazing IMAX screen that I've ever been to or anything like that. It was just kind of the standard one that's 25 minutes away. But man, like it was enough. It was enough that I was just locked in. So I really enjoyed it. I would recommend seeing it in theaters. I mean, I guess probably fair to say, like, if you like the other Mission Impossible movies, you're probably going to like this to some extent. I think you could certainly have a fair debate of where this stacks up relative to others. And I don't know that I think it's definitely not the best one. It's not my favorite one. As we've talked about, it certainly has some issues. I think we haven't really talked about this. Like, I think like the villain is kind of nothing.
Yeah. The villain's the AI, and
yeah, and like that's okay.
But still, the villain is,
right. So
it's an idea of a villain is pretty much what it is.
Yeah. So I think that like, I don't know, like there are better movies in this franchise, but this franchise as a whole has been very consistent. You walk into a Mission Impossible movie, you kind of know what you're going to get, and I think this movie delivers on that. It's maybe not the best version that we've ever seen because of the narrative isn't as strong as it has been with some, or the character development's not as strong or pronounced as it has been in some of the other movies.
No Leggy Bay.
You're gonna no Leggy Bay. She didn't make it out of Dead Reckoning, and well, we didn't see much of her in this one, but we'll get there in a second. And I don't know. You're gonna get the Mission Impossible Tom Cruise insane shit in this movie, and you're gonna get it in a pretty big, spectacular way, and that's probably worth the price of admission alone. I think there's other things in this that are worth the price of admission too, but just purely for that, seeing that in a theater, it's just not the type of experience that can be replicated at home, even with an immaculate setup. It's just not quite the same. It really isn't. So, shall we do some spoilers?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Full spoilers for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. No Leggy Bay. I think. I think. Whether it was wishful thinking or I don't know. I think I always held out hope that she might make it back for this one because her death was a fake out from the last one, but no such luck. And I think there's a couple of things. So from what I understand, Rebecca Ferguson didn't want to come back. So maybe it was a narrative choice that was forced by the fact that, the actor that plays Elsa didn't want to come back and play Elsa. And basically what she has said in interviews is like, in the amount of time that it takes for me to film a supporting role in a Mission Impossible movie, I can make like 4 other things.
Oh man.
And that's true. Like she's starring in Silo, Dune, like she's obviously done other things, and I think that like that's totally valid and justifiable. And if you feel like there's not enough for your character to do, then it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, you can have more rewarding roles in other properties,
right? Like from an acting standpoint, from an actor's standpoint, like I think that totally makes sense. That's valid. I mean, on one hand, it might also be pretty cool to spend a half a year, I don't know, filming wherever the hell they were,
and doing practical effects and shit.
Like that obviously could be pretty cool too, but I understand obviously that's maybe not what she wanted. And maybe it was also as simple as they wanted to go a different direction and focus on these other characters. To me, it's almost like, there's a big component in this movie of Ethan Hunt and Grace, who's Haley Atwell's character. And it kind of feels like, they try to establish that they have this connection. But like in terms of the timeline, they've known each other for 2 months. Like Grace was kind of an asshole stealing all the shit, in the last one. And obviously he kind of helped reform her. Now she's an agent and stuff like that. But it kind of just felt like the movie just pretended for the most part that Ilsa didn't exist. I think that it almost felt like they wrote the character as if it basically was Ilsa, but then they just slotted Grace into that role for me, where it's just like the type of things that she was doing felt more Ilsa-y, I guess, in some ways. And like Haley Atwell's good. It's not shade on
she's
her or
great.
anything like that. She's very good, but it's just like trying to, I don't know. Ethan and Ilsa had like a really strong, powerful connection that had been built up through through several movies, and it kind of just felt like they were just like, well, she's replaceable. Yet another woman in Ethan's life, and I feel like that's kind of, there's a little bit of subtext, I guess, in these movies of like, well, what happens to all the women in Ethan's life? Bad things mostly. But I don't know. That was a little, I don't know. Didn't love the lack of Leggy Bay in this one.
What
and
sequence?
I just kind of.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
We can get into the sequence. It's the submarine dive for me is the sequence that's
dude,
the fucking
was terrible. Holy shit.
Oh man. So what I will say is, I fucking loved that sequence.
What?
I thought it was incredible. I thought it was incredibly well done. I also think it was like the perfect amount of stressful. Like I was holding my breath watching it the whole time.
It was terrifying, dude.
It was like straight fucking horror movie for like probably good 10, 15 minutes of this movie. And I think the thing is, I had no idea it was coming. I feel like that was not marketed a lot. Like the marketing is all the biplane shit, the posters, the biplane, like all of it is on this biplane sequence, which is obviously kind of the big final set piece in the movie. But I did not know there was going to be this super fucking intense submarine dive, which is
and it started before the submarine dive. It started when he dropped off, when he jumped off. So I went into work and I said, guys, I went and watched the Mission Impossible movie. And they're like, oh, how was it? I was like, let me tell you something, dude. It was a roller coaster. And I tried to describe the set pieces and stuff, and I said, let me tell you what they did. Okay. They took those planes, those planes that go and they had the rotating fucking propellers, and they can go into hover and like, yeah. Okay. Well, he was looking for a submarine. And the submarine wouldn't post up, and they just go into hover mode, and then he just ran and jumped out of the top of this fucking thing into the Arctic Ocean. Okay?
Yep.
And they're like, oh man. And I tried to like get animated when I was describing it. So I was like, he just ran and then jumped and like dove into this Arctic Ocean, and he's sitting there floating and he can't breathe because it's so fucking cold. And he's freaking out. And then all of a sudden, like 5 fucking people in these like blacked out scuba gear just pop up. Bloop, 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 bloop. They pop up and they're right there. And that alone is enough to have you shit yourself. Like, who the fuck just popped up out of the ocean? And they bring him down in the submarine. And he's got hypothermia and he's shaking and shit. And it's so fucking cold. And they revitalize him. And they take him in to meet the guy, and the guy is super fucking cool with a mustache, and he's from that movie,
Mr. Severance Man.
Yeah, the Severance Man. He's cool. He's calling him sir and shit, and he's like, "Oh, you want to poke the fucking bear?"
Mister?
Yeah, hey, Mister, you want to poke the fucking bear? And he's like, "Yeah, I want to poke the bear," and that's cool.
Come to the right man.
Yeah, and so Tom Cruise goes, and he goes for his run on the treadmill because the dude likes to run. He's just fucking running on the treadmill for some reason, and they try to assassinate him.
Yeah, there's a whole fucking 5-minute fight sequence prior to all. Yeah, that's true.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
He's just in his little shorties, and then this guy's trying to fucking knife him to death, man.
Guy can't even go for a run on the submarine. Anyway,
He's trying to condition himself, and then this isn't going to help. It's going to set him back.
And then they give him some sort of experimental suit because he's got to dive down to the bottom of the goddamn ocean in the middle of the Arctic Ocean, right? And he's got to take this experimental suit, otherwise his lungs will explode and shit. And he's like, okay, well, I didn't even intend to have that fucking suit, but I guess I'll take it, you know? And so he takes the suit and he dives down to the bottom of the ocean to find this exploded submarine. He finds the exploded submarine, opens the door, and when he opens the door, the submarine starts rotating to fall off the cliff into the middle of nowhere. Like, who the knows where that fucking thing goes whenever he falls off the cliff, right? And, dude, it's so incredibly stressful. It is the most stressful fucking thing.
Incredibly stressful. I mean, I loved it because it was just like, I think it just did that so well. And this is definitely where I told Anna, I was like, you would have been so fucking stressed by this that you would not have, like, this might have literally ruined your whole movie experience for you because it was that intense and that stressful and not short, very, very not short. And like,
no dialogue.
It's just like, no dialogue. It's tense. This is one of the few things where I did notice the score. I feel like I didn't really notice the score a lot through the movie, but I felt like the score was like suited the moment where it is just him swimming through this thing. And like, obviously, like, you get like a little bit of jump scare with the fucking dead people, and you know, you get like shit like as it's rocking, all the torpedoes start fucking moving around and rocking around. It's
you
like,
just hear his grunts and shit. Ooh.
Yeah, he's getting beat the fuck up.
And then he tries to find. He's like, oh no, that fucking torpedo jammed my door shut. I can't open it.
Yeah.
I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through one of the fucking torpedo holes. What a good idea.
Oh my God. I love that. It was incredible.
He goes
fucking
over to
incredible.
There's a torpedo in the hole. It's like, God damn it. So he goes through another torpedo hole and he can't fit because he's got this giant experimental fucking pack on his back
thing.
So then what's he do? Tom Cruise, in his infinite wisdom, he just cuts the fucking suit off. And he's like, oh, fuck, it's cold. You know? And then he starts climbing into that torpedo hole, and then the water starts coming in. He's like, oh, fuck, it's cold.
Yep.
He gets it open.
Oh, man.
And then the thing starts falling into the void. The whole submarine falls into the void. And so he gets out just in time. It's a win. He's got his mask on. He doesn't have any fucking suit. He doesn't have a suit. So
no, but he's got the source code, though. He's got the entity's source code.
He's got the source
mission
code.
Accomplished.
He's got his oxygen mask. Maybe he's going to make it.
He's missing 95% of the gear that he started with, but God damn it, it's Ethan Hunt, and he's got a will to survive.
And then the tail of the submarine fucking snags him. It starts dragging him to the fucking core of the earth.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck it. He takes it off. And he starts swimming. I'm just going to swim from the bottom of the Arctic Ocean up to the ice. And then he starts fucking drowning. It's like, oh, man.
Right, yeah, because the pressure, like, because there's a whole thing about, like, you know, like, you're gonna get fucked up, you know, by doing this from the pressure, you know, and yeah, it happens.
Oh.
But
it had to be. I mean, how long was that sequence? It felt like it was like half an hour. It felt like to me.
I'd say at least 20 minutes.
Oh.
I mean, because depending on where you start, like, I think probably from him. So that's where he opens the valve when he's exiting the submarine. That's where he opens the valve, and the aspect ratio kind of slowly, incrementally expands.
Okay.
I would say from the point of him getting out of the sub down into the other sub, back up to the surface into the hyperbaric chamber. At least 20 minutes, you know, so it's probably 30 minutes if you're including the knife treadmill fight and all that stuff too. So, and like, it's pretty singularly focused. Like, I don't think it cuts away from it. Like, no. I think once he's in the sub, you're in it. You're in the sub for the whole fucking time. Like, and I think that's really impactful. Like, as a filmmaking choice is like, you know, a lot of times in movies, just like B team's on another mission. So we're going to cut to the B team as like a way to cut the tension, you know, so that it's not as stressful.
No,
but they don't cut through the tension at all. You just live in that moment for the whole sequence, and that to me was super, super impactful. Like a really, to me, very smart filmmaking choice, which was super fucking stressful. Absolutely fingernail eating worthy. I totally agree with all that. Be very, if I had popcorn, I probably wouldn't be munching on the popcorn because I'd be too stressed to eat the popcorn. You know what I mean? But it is like whatever nervous tick you've got going on, it's fucking going, haywire in that sequence because you got to do something. To me, I think I was just like gripping the armrests. I was just like, this, the fuck, man. And it just kept going and going and going. And then you finally have a little bit of an exhale when he gets up to the surface. But, man.
It was definitely probably one of the most, it's definitely up there for intense moments in film, for sure. Definitely.
Really, like, I think, to me, I don't know that there's been anything as intense in Mission Impossible probably since the original, hanging from the wire.
Yeah,
dangling. Like, to me, that's the closest in terms of tension within this franchise of just like,
that was pretty tense,
an
dude.
impossible mission. Like, that was tense. Like,
sweat.
obviously that was pretty, you very, very little room for error kind of thing. Like, truly an impossible mission type of thing. And, the only man for the job is Ethan Hunt, and he's going to get that job done. It doesn't hurt that he wakes up to Haley Atwell. Like, he's probably like, oh, that was worth it. All right, I'm feeling okay. Feeling okay about things. I don't even remember Leggy Bay. Who's that? I don't know who that is anymore. I've never heard of her. Or my wife that I'm probably divorced. I think she remarried at Fallout or something like that. So, that sequence was fucking awesome. I mean, again, awesome in the most horrifying, stressful sort of way. Your mileage may vary of whether you enjoy that sequence, but to me, it was so well done that I would say that I really, really enjoyed it. Thought that was just really, really fantastic. Do you want to talk about the other set piece?
Yeah, the big one. The other big one.
There's like two big ones. I think that's one which I wasn't expecting, and then there's the big biplane, chase, jump.
Now listen, the big biplane.
It.
The big biplane was pretty spectacular. It was pretty awesome.
Pretty spectacular. Pretty well filmed. I mean,
it's like old school
it's also,
film, old school.
Yeah, totally. It's so different. Like it's definitely more fun than the submarine sequence was.
Yeah,
it's definitely fun. It feels bombastic. It feels over the top and ridiculous, but in the right sort of Mission Impossible-y sort of way, where it is just like, that's Tom Cruise hanging onto a fucking biplane that's in the air, and he's jumping from the biplane to the other biplane, and just the sort that, to me, that's the right sort of balance of course this is so fucking over the top, but because of the way they're doing it, they're doing it pretty practically. Like, I think Tom Cruise is hanging on to that shit. And like, obviously he's wired up and all that. He's not literally flying the plane. There's someone else flying the plane, but like a lot of that, the reason it looks as good as it does. Tom Cruise wasn't
flying the plane with his foot when he was holding on?
I don't think he was. He might have been at one point, but I think he had a little assistance anyway. It was fun. To me, it wasn't as impactful. I think it's the same thing with the bike jump from from Dead Reckoning Part 1 of you saw it 100 times before the movie came out. This one less so. I don't think you really saw the full extent of all of it. Or at least I don't really recall it in the same way where they may have put out some big behind the scenes thing of like, look at this ramp that we built. Look, he's going to jump. He's going to do it. But it was still pretty good. I thought it was still pretty.
It was still pretty fun, dude. It's pretty awesome. Tom Cruise was
awesome.
Holding on to that airplane while it was flying through the air.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough for me. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. No, it was fucking cool. Don't get me wrong. I think I was surprised and taken aback by the submarine sequence, and to me that was almost the highlight stunt set piece, even though absolutely this one is probably more impressive on a technical level of, what was required to do it. The fact that Tom Cruise, obviously the insane asshole that he is in fact doing all this insane shit. Like, fucking love it. Obviously, it's great. But
it didn't have the same level of tension, though.
No, definitely not the same level of tension, but not necessitally intended to have the same level of tension.
Right.
Like, honestly, in that sequence, the bigger tension is the fact that you got B team defusing a fucking bomb, C team, you got to have Grace ready to pull, the thing within a split second, and then you've got Benji fucking half dying because he's been shot. So there's like, that one has a lot of tension built from the other parts of that. Like, obviously it's tense in the sense that, like, if Tom Cruise falls off that plane without a parachute, he's dead. But he magically found a parachute at some point. I'd have to watch it again. I'm not really, I didn't see him find a second parachute, but he clearly did, because he makes it out. Although there was the point where I'm like, oh man, they did No Time to Die this. Like, they killed Ethan Hunt, those sons of bitches. I thought
that's what they were going to do too. And that was going to be the end of the thing. But
they didn't. He's fine.
They, shit, what was I going to say? I had a thought about, there could have been a lot of humor at the end if they punctured the wrong lung to, like, to make the incision on the side, you know, and he's like, make the cut right here, and she fucking jams the pin in there. That didn't do anything. You were on the wrong side. You got to do it again on the other side.
Right. That's the kind of thing where I don't know, something might have been helpful. To give you a little, like, hey, it's just a movie. It's going to be, Benji's going to be all right. Kind of, I don't know. Yeah.
Perfect. That would have been perfect timing for that one. Anyways.
Well, because the stakes in this movie, I guess just to talk about that a little bit, the stakes in this movie are the AI has control of most of the nuclear arsenals, and is like, it's, as we follow through the movie, it's getting control of, the U.S.'s nuclear arsenal, and once it has control of the U.S.'s nuclear arsenal, it'll have full tactical control of everything. It's going to launch all of these nukes against each other and blow up the world, but then it will retreat into this place in, I think, South Africa, where it can hide, and then, in however many years it'll come back out and go out to this ruined world, but be able to rule it because it's, AI, and it will survive or whatever. I think that's kind of roughly it. Point being, like, we're going to fucking nuke the entire goddamn globe. Like, that's the stakes of this movie. Like, I don't think you could have higher stakes in this movie. Like, I don't think you could do it of, like, the world will literally be fucking reduced to a nuclear wasteland if we do not succeed with this mission. Like, I thought that was, I don't know. I mean, I liked that in the sense that, like, holy shit, that's fucking insane. And as we kind of said, like, well, I mean, there are a lot of countries with nuclear arsenals. There are a lot of countries that do not get along with each other. There's, an idea of mutually assured destruction. But, if, bad things started to happen, it's not a far-fetched thing that something like this could happen, and there could be a chain reaction of very bad nuclear launches happening and stuff. And I was fascinated by the United States plan of, well, why don't we just do it ourselves? But we'll be fair, and we'll nuke one of our own cities too.
That's pretty brutal.
It's hardcore. It's pretty gnarly in terms of, like, thematically, like, what that is. Like, it's as far as you can take something like this, which is an inherently ridiculous franchise, but playing with something that's not, like, it's technically feasible. It's realistic. Like, nuclear bombs are a very, very real thing. They've been deployed, obviously, in real life. We have seen the devastation that they can cause, and to think of that on a mass scale is not an impossibility by any stretch of the imagination. So I do think, like, that was pretty interesting, but definitely contributes to the no funny things allowed in this movie, because we're talking about nuclear annihilation, which is not a laughing matter, generally speaking, one would usually say, but I don't know.
Angela Bassett rocked her character.
She's good, really good. I'm glad they brought her back. I think the returning players, I think we're all pretty good. Ving Rhames is back briefly. We lost Luther. That was sad. Although, same thing that happened when Ilsa died in the last one. Everyone kind of just forgets and moves on. And part of it obviously is like, hey, we've got to stop the nuclear annihilation from happening. We don't really have time to mourn. But I kind of felt like they could have done a little bit more. Like, it didn't feel like, for a movie that's 3 hours and for Dead Reckoning that was 2 hours and 40 minutes, it's like, I don't know, let's have a little bit of a moment maybe. Like, I think Dead Reckoning had a little bit of a moment. This one was very much just like, all right, well, sucks. But I mean, I guess it had the message at the end. I guess that's probably it. But I don't know. There wasn't really anything with Benji, and, obviously, like, Luther and Benji have now been mainstays for the franchise since 2 and 3, basically, right? So yeah, I don't know. I think that that's where if you're going to give this movie a moment to breathe, like that could have been something that would have been good. But I don't know. Yeah. Something that I found to be slightly of a laughing matter. I think this might be Ethan Hunt's worst hair in the franchise.
Yeah, it didn't look great.
It did not look good. There's like one moment, I think maybe like when he's like in the tux or the suit in the beginning, and it looks okay, where it's like kind of, I guess, combed well enough that it looks fine, but for the rest of the movie, it looks pretty bad.
And I thought he looked pretty. I mean, not to, I don't particularly care if people look old or anything.
Is he starting to look his age finally?
He's starting to look his age. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe that's why it's maybe time to hang it up. I mean, it definitely ends in a way that is, I think this could work as a finale. This could be the final reckoning. This could be the final entry in the Mission Impossible franchise, at least as far as Tom Cruise is concerned.
They tied everything up in a way that, like, everything you've done, Tom, has been related.
Right.
To this.
Yeah, well, the MacGuffin from 3 is related to this, and there's the villain from your past who's tied to this, although they kind of dropped that angle in this one. Yeah, like it definitely, it was a little, it was a little Rise of Skywalker-y in the sense of everything has to be tied together. Yeah, so Shea Wiggum is John Voight's kid. Like, okay, what does that matter? Who cares? Like, that to me was like, I'm Jim Phelps Jr. Like, oh, okay, all right. Are you related to Palpatine too? Somehow Jim Phelps returned. That to me was like, I mean, okay, the rabbit's foot stuff, like, okay. The one callback that I actually am surprised worked really well was the return of William Dunlow. So good. The diarrhea guy, because he was great. I thought his character had a very important role. Like, he was very charming and had obviously more personality than shitting himself, because he's been given some substances that are gonna make him shit himself. His wife was great. The sled dogs and all that stuff, all that was all really, really. I thought that was really well done, and this idea that Ethan's like, sorry, I fucking ruined your life. And he's like, you didn't. I wouldn't be
I owe
here.
My life to you. Right.
Yeah. I thought that was actually genuinely pretty touching and I don't know, man. That was a fun full circle sort of moment, not Jim Phelps Jr. Really? Really? That's what we're doing here? That, I don't know. That to me felt lesser in terms of caliber of writing, and was it needed? I don't think so. I don't know. All right, what else? You got anything else? Have we?
No, that's it.
Have we covered things? Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, I guess the last thing I'll say is, I mean, purely in terms of this is Dead Reckoning Part 2, but it also isn't. You know what I mean? The strikes affected the production of that, so there was long enough gap. I think Christopher McQuarrie basically was like, yeah, we kind of tried to recalibrate it into something a little bit more standalone, and then there's a lot of the callbacks and stuff definitely made it feel more like let's make this the potential final entry in the franchise, as opposed to just part 2 of a 2-part story. Now this is the end to an 8-part story in a way. I mean, it's awkward because Dead Reckoning is still called Dead Reckoning Part 1 within the movie itself. And the very end of the movie, it says Part 1 end. I just find it very goofy that then they were just like, just kidding. And Wicked's going to have the same problem too of, Wicked Part 1, and then they change the subtitle to be Wicked for Good. And it's like, well, either do Part 1 and Part 2 or fucking don't. Pick, make up your mind.
Yeah, right.
It's just very silly to change it, halfway through doing something. But I think the biggest thing that I think what got lost, and I assume you didn't watch Dead Reckoning, but there's this idea, or I assume you haven't watched it since we covered it, is what I mean. there's this like thing that's set up in there where like Ethan and Gabriel have this past, and like there's this woman who was in Ethan's past that maybe Gabriel killed, and like there's like these kind of like little flashback sequences that it shows, and I think they're probably in this a little bit, but not in the same way. And it's basically like setting up why Ethan became an IMF agent. Like he was going to be a criminal, but he was given the choice. He accepted the choice. And then obviously he became the legend that he is now. And like that whole aspect of it was totally trashed in this, which was really a fascinating choice of just not following up on that in any way whatsoever. I was a little thrown by that decision, which I guess maybe it takes it from a 2-hour, 50-minute movie to a 3-hour and 10-minute movie, and that's why it was in the trash can. But it is jarring that, especially going from Dead Reckoning Part 1 into this one, of just, like, this is basically still Dead Reckoning Part 2, but then it kind of feels like, well, we also have to sort of shoehorn it into a final movie because we spend too much money on these things and they don't make enough money for us to keep doing that over and over and over again. Even Tom Cruise is not enough of a reason for us to do that. So it was, that to me, that side of things where it's a little, I don't know. Like, I think there's I wish that we had just, I mean, there's a lot of things we can blame. There's COVID fucked up the production schedule of Dead Reckoning Part 1. The writers and acting strikes affected the production of this one. Barbenheimer cut off the legs of Dead Reckoning, so it didn't make as much money as it might have otherwise, so that might have been an influence in why they decided, maybe let's not call this Part 2. Maybe let's, streamline things and make this, what the 9th movie might have been as well, and fold it into this in terms of the ideas that we want to do. But I don't know. I think I would have preferred, number one, three generally tighter, shorter movies as opposed to 2 3-hour movies that have some structural issues. Like, so
I totally 110% agree.
I guess we could say what if, a lot about it, but I don't know.
No,
so
I prefer a tighter experience for sure.
That said, the final sequence where everyone kind of just looks at each other from afar, pretty fucking goofy.
It felt very Lord of the Rings-esque when everybody's like smiling and jumping. That's exactly what it felt like.
Gimli! Ethan! Guys! Benji!
Whose idea was this?
Paris!
Ethan walks on, everybody just smiles and nods at him.
Yeah, that was a little goofy. That said, I did appreciate that it ended in a way where if this is it, it's it, and that's fine. It's all good. Everyone's going to continue impossible missioning about.
I just don't know how it gets made. How does it get made? Nobody watched it? Like, Tom, what are you thinking, bud? This is a bad idea. Let's just wrap it up.
Well, apparently there was originally going to be a post-credit scene, and Tom said, no, this is the end of the movie. So Tom made the executive decision that we're not setting anything else up. Like, this is it. So I think it could work. It's definitely goofy, but it's like fine. Like, it's not as earned as like the Lord of the Rings one in a vacuum is kind of goofy, but it's like fucking earned by that point. You've had 9 hours, 10 hours, or 12 hours of extended versions, of these characters, going through some shit. And like these guys they went through some shit. They prevented the nuclear Armageddon. Like, okay, like they've been through some shit. They've lost.
These guys just get out in
lost
Paris
some
and just
teammates.
like the original where Tom Cruise, like the original Mission Impossible was at.
Yeah.
Let them get out and smile at each other. Yeah.
Gimli.
This is so fucking stupid.
It was a bit goofy, but I will say I prefer this over Tom Cruise going splat, falling off the plane, and everyone is, it didn't need this to be the No Time to Die ending again, where it's just like Daniel Craig is definitely fucking done with this character. I think probably financially this will probably be the last Mission Impossible for a while, but I'd be open to more. I'd be open to more is how I feel about it. If this is it, I'm happy with it. I'm content. It's a pretty solid finale. It's not the best. It's not the best in the franchise. It's definitely not the worst. It's definitely far above the worst, but it's probably middle of the pack, somewhere in there. Maybe slightly lower tier, just because there are some real fucking bangers in this franchise. Like, I think Rogue Nation and Fallout, like, back to back, and Ghost Protocol too.
Yeah,
even prior to Rogue
those.
Nation, like that 4, 5, 6 stretch was like probably peak. Like, Dead Reckoning I really liked, but not as good. This one I liked pretty well, probably maybe slightly less than Dead Reckoning. So I don't know. Anyway,
They're movies like set apart from their set, like defined by their set pieces. You know, I feel like
Definitely.
anyways. Yeah,
and I think this one,
submarine
that's
sequence.
to me, that was its biggest strength.
Right.
I think the other movies have had better narrative components, and I think this one had, like, its biggest drawbacks for me were probably the narrative side of things. So,
Right.
And some of the fan servicey stuff that didn't really need to be there. So, all right, I reckon that I have finally said everything I reckon I should say about Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Do you reckon that you have finally done the same?
I reckon I agree with you.
Well, I reckon we should move on
All right.
and see what we've been up to. So what have you been up to? You've been up to
Been up
things?
to a lot. I've been up to a lot, man.
Okay, tell me about it.
Well, Sarah and I are getting a van.
Oh, a van. That's some
That's a big one.
That's some 2 kids energy right there. I think.
Some 2-kid energy. I can remember my fondest memories are riding in your family van as a young child.
Okay.
And being able to watch you play video games, I could play video games, or watch movies or what have you in this van.
Sure.
These are some of the best memories that I have of being in a vehicle, and I am going to replicate that for my children.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got we put a deposit down on a 2025 Toyota Sienna Platinum.
Oh man.
Very.
Did you buy a new?
Yes. Yeah. We went ahead and got a new one. They had a big redesign and stuff, new features and whatnot in the new one. 2025 Platinum has a built-in refrigerator, which I think is pretty nice.
Where does that? Where do they put that?
It's like part of the center console. Like, it's just built further back.
Okay, interesting.
And it's also got a built-in vacuum cleaner, which is pretty neat.
Shit. Okay.
And then what's cool about the Siennas in particular is the two captain chairs in the middle row. They had these super, super long sliders. Like, they go way back.
Okay.
Right? So you can pretty much effectively eliminate the third row and just have the second row seats way, 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 way the fuck back there. So far back there, in fact, that they have recliners. The middle seats are recliners.
I see. Oh, wow. Okay. That's cool.
So they go way, way back there. And so we did that with the middle row is going to have it's got the TV that drops down from the top. It's just a monitor, and then there's an HDMI input and an inverter down there by the center console. I think it'll be a real good family unit for us. I think it's more practical, especially as Theo gets older. He already has a hard time jumping inside the back of the Suburban, so I just think it's a more practical unit. I think it's more comfortable. And I don't know. It's definitely more fuel efficient. It gets like 36 miles a gallon because it's a hybrid, so that's cool.
Nice.
And I'm really, really, really stoked. I've always liked vans. I like vans a lot. I think they're very practical units.
You were just meant to be a dad.
Well, if you think about like anything other than a truck, trucks have a practicality that is you can't match the practicality of a truck, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So if we just take trucks outside of the conversation, there is nothing more practical than a van.
No, I totally. I think that I agree.
Vans, like if you compare cost of ownership between a full size SUV, which seats similar people and has similar room, to a van. Cost of ownership is far less on a minivan than a full size SUV. And I think that like they're lower to the ground, and so I think they're just easier to use. I think they're more functional. I sell the shit out of vans at the car lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well,
As long as people are like willing to look at a van, I can generally get them to buy a van. And that's because I believe in vans. I think vans are very good units. So I'm real excited that Sarah's excited, like she's willing to look at one, and she seems pretty excited about one. We went to the Toyota dealership and sat in some of them and stuff, and we ordered one, and I've been talking to a guy, and it should be here. It's in the building phase, so I didn't quite order it, but I found a place that's receiving the one that we want, and I put a deposit on it, and it's coming in between the 12th and the 16th of this month, which leads me to my newest point, my newest thing I've been up to. I will have a second child on the 16th of this month, of June 16th.
You say newest thing, but I think you might have done something a while ago that
I did a while ago,
leading
that's right.
to this point. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
The consequences of my actions have led me to have a child on the 16th of this month.
Yeah.
Little Nolan will be joining us at 7:30 a.m. on June 16th, which is very, very, very exciting. His due date, because Sarah's going to have a C-section. She had a C-section with Bennett. So, generally speaking, you have a C-section the second time around or third time around, or however many kids you have.
Yeah.
Anyways, the due date's moved around a little bit, but we've got it narrowed down now, I believe, to the 16th, which is fabulous. Means I will be able to take a full 2 weeks off with the baby and Sarah, and be able to kind of transition my family into having a second baby in the house, which is it's quite the big deal. Little stressed out about it, a little worried about it, but at the same time, I could not be more excited. Little babies are just the best thing on the planet. They're just, I don't know. Nothing quite like it. Bennett just turned 2 this last weekend on May 31st. He turned 2 years old. He had a fabulous birthday. And all sorts of new things happen when you turn 2 years old. We turned that...
yeah.
He's of the right size, and he's 2 years old. So we started driving. We turned his car seat around, so he's facing forwards now. And I turned I set him in his car seat, and I turned it forwards instead of backwards. And the second I locked it in forwards, he said, "Wow!" It's awesome. I will be taking him on a podcast-related note. I will be taking him to see his first movie as soon as that. Elio, I think is the name of it. It's the one-eyed little boy animated movie.
Yeah.
We'll take him to see that. I think that's going to be the first one I think I'd take him to see.
Test case. There'll be other kids in there, like.
Yeah,
so
we'll go see it at the Zephyrils Theater. So nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Low stakes.
But we'll see how he does, and I think he's going to do real good. He seems to really like the movie, so I am very excited about that. So a lot of big things going on the family front.
Yeah, definitely sounds like it. Exciting things.
I guess I'm not going to finish that samurai game on the PS5 I was playing. I didn't finish it.
Tsushima?
Tsushima. Yeah, it was really cool. I think it's an awesome game. But I don't think I'm going to finish it, so that's that.
Well, once baby number 2 is here, yeah. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Say if you weren't worried about wrangling the 2-year-old as well, then you'd probably have a good amount of couch time. But yeah,
but I have started. Magic the Gathering has a Final Fantasy set coming out here soon.
Okay.
It's a very overpriced set and everything else. Anyways, it got me thinking about Final Fantasy. It's like, Final Fantasy is pretty good. And I never played. I know you played Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I never played any of the new combat stuff. Every Final Fantasy I've ever played's been the old turn-based combat stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I booted up the PlayStation Portal, and I was like, I need to get more time out of this. Switch 2 is about to come out, and I would like to be able to justify buying it because I really enjoy the Switch. But I have a PlayStation Portal I'm not using, so let me see if I can justify it. Anyways, so I downloaded, I started streaming Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is this turn-based, not turn-based, it's like some sort of, I don't know how you would call it. It's like a blend between turn-based combat and like, I don't know, just like action combat, I guess. I don't know. You just like click buttons and shit happens. Anyways, so I started playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's pretty awesome. It looks pretty good. I think I suck at combat. I don't feel very confident in combat. I haven't died or anything, but I don't feel like I've got it, you know?
Yeah.
But it does look good, and I am excited to continue playing it. From what I understand, they intend to make Final Fantasy 7 and 3 remake video games, and 2 of them are made.
Yes.
And the third one is not out yet. The second one of which is supposed to be spectacular, like it's won Game of the Year and stuff. So, anyways, I'm here for it. We'll see how far I can get. The benefit to this versus open world shit is with a linear story, I feel like compelled to continue forward and stuff. It's easier for me to finish a thing that's got like a beginning, a middle, and an end, and just like a deliberate story to be told. So I'm excited about that. Sarah and I started Andor. Sarah is watching Andor with me.
Okay. And you were season
I am
1.
2/3 through season 1.
Okay, pretty good progress. Nice.
Pretty good progress. I don't know if I've forgotten a lot of the things that happens in Andor, or I don't know quite what the situation is, but Andor is spectacular. It is very, very, very good. And I'm very excited to be rewatching it. It's very rewatchable, and I'm loving every second of it. I'm excited to see where season 2 is. I'm excited I enjoy watching it with Sarah, and I think it's a real cool show. We finished The Pitt. I don't know if we talked about this earlier.
I think so. But we definitely talked about it at some point. So.
But did I tell you I finished it?
I don't remember. I have not edited far enough. I haven't gotten through a Thunderbolts episode as of recording this to say what actually you talked about on that episode. So,
I did
maybe,
in fact finish The Pitt.
Talk about it again. That's fine. Someone might not have listened to that episode that's listening to this, so.
Yeah, The Pitt is a spectacular television show. I recommend everybody watch The Pitt. I think it is. I think it's enlightening. I think it speaks volumes about the people. Speaks volumes about people working medicine. Like, for some reason, I think that, not to get in the weeds, but to kind of get in the weeds, I feel like that for some reason there's this aura about this idea about people that work in medicine, and it's about money, or it's about this, or it's about that. And how about these people work in medicine because they just want to fucking help people? Is it too far of a stretch to think that people are decent human beings and want to help other people? And it really irks me when I hear people talk about people in medicine and everything else. And I think that this does a really good job of exploring a lot of that. I truly love this show. I think it's awesome. We watched a little bit of we watched Grey's, and this is
right.
Grey's cranked up to 11. It's way more stressful. It's visceral. It's a lot more potent. And it is what it is, but I think it's truly a magnificent show. I think it's really good. I think it's a show of the times too. It seems like it's just really relevant and really well made. And One show in particular I want to shout out that we started watching. I started watching it with Bennett. I actually need to look it up. It's so this show, I don't know if anybody's ever going to look it up or anything else on this podcast, but there is this Disney show. It's a Mickey Mouse show. And it's kind of classic looking.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'll be able to think of what it's called. I don't know what it's called. God damn it. It's on Disney Plus, and it's
is it a new show, or do you know?
I feel like it came out I feel like it's pretty recent. I feel like it's a pretty recent show.
The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse? Is that it?
The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse? I'll have to look it up. To be announced. I will announce the name of this show when I am more prepared. Okay. But there's a Mickey Mouse show on Disney Plus, and it's maybe it is The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse.
That looks like the most recent one that I could see that's come out. But
Untold Treasures, Game Night. It looks kind of old school. I feel like that might be it.
Okay.
If this is it, it's really good. It's a really good Mickey Mouse show.
Okay.
House of Tomorrow. It is it. This is it.
All right. We solved it.
The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse. I can tell you that this Mickey Mouse is a little bit more mature. It reminds me a little bit of SpongeBob.
Right. Okay.
But I'm happy that the baby was entertained watching it, because it was funny. I started talking to Kelly, my father-in-law, about it. And it's like, hey, we started watching this Mickey Mouse show. And he's like, oh, which one was it? And I said, well, there was one episode where there was like this smart house, but it was like trying to kill Mickey Mouse. He's like, oh, we started that show when I was watching them, and we went in bed and we watched it. We watched like 9 episodes of it. It's good. And I was like, yeah, it was good. And we all started talking about this Mickey Mouse show, and it's a lot of fun. If anybody listening has children that is into Mickey Mouse, like my baby's into Mickey Mouse, highly recommend The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
And very well made and very well animated. And even if you don't have any children, I think you'll find humor in the show. I think it's a good one. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's what I got.
All right. Well, I have a few things. Star Wars stuff at the top. We watched The Empire Strikes Back.
Good choice.
It's still a good movie, I can confirm. Very shocking information, I'm sure. But we watched it. I think I talked about it a little bit when we watched A New Hope, or should I say when we watched Star Wars. We did the 4K 77 version, which is like a 4K version, fan created, but using like 35 millimeter prints. We did it the same way. There's a 4K 80. It's kind of constructed, I think, a single 35 millimeter print. Empire is like the one movie in the original trilogy that's mostly unfucked with, in terms of the special edition changes. I think the biggest thing that changed is the Emperor. They switched to the Ian McDiarmid stuff that was shot later. And then just like color corrections of lightsabers and stuff like that. But still cool to see it with kind of the graininess, from the print. And yeah, it's just still it's still a great movie. I think in both of our, at least as of when we recorded our top 5 favorite movie, episode that we did, I think it was in both of our top 5s, if I recall correctly. So, and it deserves its place there. So, we have also been watching season 2 of Andor. We are through the first 2 arcs. So we finished the first six episodes. We've started the 3rd arc, but we're 1 episode into that. So we have 5 left for the season, and it is continuing the quality of season 1. I can tell you that much right now. And hopefully we'll have a chance to cover it, but obviously you still got a bit of season 1 and then 12 episodes of season 2 to get through, so it's probably a down the road sort of project for us, but I guess everything kind of is these days. So that's how it goes.
We'll get there.
That's how it goes. No, that's okay. But it's very, very good, and would definitely welcome a chance to talk about it, especially because we never did properly cover season 1 because I was really late to the party with season 1. So we could do a joint season 1, season 2 episode, I think, because that's it. And then we'll, Rogue One and all that. And so, yeah. So that's it. Yeah. Best Star Wars stuff. We're going to keep watching Andor. We'll watch Return of the Jedi at some point. But other things we've been up to, we finished season 4 of Abbott Elementary, which I think probably wrapped up a little while ago at this point, but we just finished it up, I think this past weekend. I thought it was a pretty strong season overall. I thought better than last season, which I think was maybe strike shortened, or one of these was strike shortened. I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was 3. I think 3 got hit by the strikes, and I feel like it kind of suffered as a result. I thought 4 was good. Good return to, I would say, return to form. I mean, it was never bad, but I felt like this was closer to, the quality of the first couple seasons. So definitely enjoyed it. Would still recommend Abbott Elementary for sure. And then I think I was one episode away from finishing it last time I recorded, but I have now finished season 1 of Reacher. Big, large man shoots people and beats people up, and it's a lot of fun.
Enormously large man.
Very, very large man. I can't wait to get to season 3 because he's going to come up against and it's somehow even more enormous man, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's good fun. It's it's a little stupid. It's a little I mean, it's exactly what I wanted to be, which was dumb fun, very entertaining, and just I don't know. Don't expect a whole lot out of it. I think you could have a lot of fun with it. So it definitely hit the mark for what I wanted it to be. And then outside of movies and TV shows that I've been watching, I saw a band by the name of Metallica live in concert recently with Enrique, and they played at the Link. They played at the Eagles football stadium, so it's a big whole thing. We had pretty good seats, and good show, great show. They were doing a 2-night thing where they did no repeat songs, so whatever they played night 1, they wouldn't play night 2. We just did the second night.
Oh man!
So we got some, we got some deep cuts as a result of that. But then there were like things like they didn't play Master of Puppets, or they didn't play anything from that entire album actually, which was disappointing. But they played stuff like Blackened and One, and like some stuff that was pretty fucking cool to hear. I think second time seeing Metallica. First time was a few years ago in Boston, and there were some audio issues in the beginning, and this one was definitely a much better setup. I don't love seeing concerts at stadiums. I think it's just kind of, to me, too big and impersonal, and I prefer smaller venues. But like you're not going to go see Metallica at anywhere other than, at a minimum, like an arena of some sort.
It's always a stadium.
Yeah, it's going to be something. So for what it was, like the production design was really cool. Like they had these big towers and stuff, and the lighting and the pyrotechnics. Like they go all out, and it was fucking cool. And good openers too: Suicidal Tendencies and Pantera, the new Pantera. I guess it's half of the original band, and then some replacements for the members that are no longer on this earth. But it was all good, all good fun. Had a good time at that concert. And then, well, in a little less than 2 hours, it's going to be 12:01 a.m. On June 5th, and that means it's going to be Nintendo Switch 2 launch time. So I've got a pre-order at Best Buy, and pretty much once I finish recording this, I gotta start making moves and head over to Best Buy. So I'll be picking up the Nintendo Switch 2, which I'm very excited for. Mario Kart World is definitely. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to revisit some of the Switch games that are getting technical upgrades, like patches to make the graphics and frame rate better. Like I think it'll. I don't know. I'm very much excited to do just to have it. I haven't had, I've been only playing Switch games on the original Switch, which is now many, many years old. So I'm really excited to get my hands on something new, advanced, and new Mario Kart, new Donkey Kong game next month. Like I don't know, it's definitely some cool.
I hope
shit
it's
that
truly
I'm pretty
groundbreaking.
excited
Hope it feels like it's a new thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if it's going to be groundbreaking in the sense that I think it's going to be, generally speaking, more of the same, but like more technologically advanced and like, better as a result. Like just even from the third party games, like, it's getting a lot of stuff that would never have been able to run on the original Switch. So I think it's kind of cool to see a little bit more parity. Like, it's not a PS5, in the palm of your hand, obviously, but it's kind of like a PS4 in the palm of your hand, which is pretty fucking impressive in its own way too. So, I'm excited. I just want it to feel good. I'm just, 4K Nintendo gaming and I don't know. I'm excited. Very, very excited. So, right now I'm just waiting so I can go get it. But that's it. I'll have maybe some thoughts on it next time we record on whatever that is. We'll get into that shortly. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up if you're ready to wrap this up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Well, thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please spread the word. We are on Patreon at patreon.com/watchreviewrepeat. You can get early access to all of our regular episodes, timed exclusive access to maybe a bonus episode down the line. I don't know. Probably not in the next month or so. I don't think we're quite in.
Might be able to.
I don't know. Maybe.
We'll
see. I had a thought. I asked Anna, I was like, do you want to watch those old Fantastic Four movies? And she's like, fuck yeah, I love those movies. And I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe we could do that. We could do other things. I don't know. There's infinite possibilities of bonus episodes that we
talked
could
about
do.
some bonus episodes. What did we talk about before?
We've tinkered with some ideas, like the Pitt was like a medical one, so we do like professional ones. I think we came up with werewolves for a horror one closer to Halloween, but we're not ready for that just yet. I'm going to have 2 weeks at home. I imagine I can watch a movie one night and record during a nap time of another. True, that's possible. Well, maybe we'll squeeze. We haven't done anything this year, so I guess we probably are definitely due to do something. So
nothing crazy, but we could probably
do
a singular thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we could do that for sure. So yeah, maybe we will make it happen. All right, maybe we will. But at some point, we'll do something. We can say that we'll do something at some point. That's vague enough for me to be confident in saying it, even though it means basically nothing. So anyway, patreon.com/watchreviewrepeat. It's only $2 a month. Definitely worth it for the early access to the regular episodes because, I'm in a perpetual state of being behind on editing these things. So if you really want to hear things, ASAP, that's the way to go. Our website's watchreviewrepeat.com. You get links to all of our socials there. We're on Blue Sky at watchreviewrepeat.bsky.social. Or WRR Pod. I don't know. It's linked on the website. Go find it there. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/watchreviewrepeat, Instagram at watchreviewrepeat. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, some thoughts on Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning or other things coming out that have come out, you can send them to watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. If you've got something to say, send it our way. I think we had Sorry, Bruce Brown. I'm now remembering that I think we had a listener's corner entry from you, but at this point, I'm gonna roll it to the next episode. So if everyone wants to get on the listener's corner for the next episode, whatever it ends up being, have at it. Send us some thoughts on what you've been up to. Intro and outro track is Mechanolith by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. I don't think we know what we're covering next. It kind of laid out on the script for Andrew to see, like, there's some things that are coming out that are maybe of interest. Karate Kid just came out. I don't know that we're going to see that in a theater realistically. Ballerina is coming out right around the corner. Maybe, that'll technically be baby Nolan arriving.
That's true. Yeah.
The How to Train Your Dragon live action 28 years later. Elio, you mentioned, potentially already seeing. And then getting into the later stages of the month, we've got F1 and M3 2.0. And TV side, Last of Us Season 2 is done. I don't know if you've been watching. I have not been, but want to. Andor, obviously, is something that we would like to cover whenever we're both done with Season 2. And there's probably other shit out there that may be worth covering too. So we'll have a conversation. We'll figure out what makes the most sense.
Yeah.
We might be able to squeeze one more recording in before baby arrives, but I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. TBD, totally TBD.
TBD.
I think probably fair to say, somewhat bear with us. I mean, I'd say bear with us, and we're recording this, and then by the time this episode's actually out, the baby will probably have been born. Is my realistic guess.
Right.
So who knows? But obviously, you're gonna have a however many week old and a 2-year-old running around at home. I mean,
life's going to be a little crazy. I don't know how it's going to be. I'll have to let you know.
In the same way that when baby B arrived, a couple of years ago, we, kind of had to just, work around obviously your personal life and my personal life. And when we find time to watch things and record things, we will. I cannot tell you or promise you when that's going to be. We're not going to cover everything. I can guarantee we're not going to cover everything because it's just not going to happen.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. I might see some stuff that you don't get a chance to see, and maybe I'll talk about it, but there's just no way we can cover everything. We just are not capable of that. And I alone would struggle with that myself too. And I've got 0 kids to worry about. So, so we'll do something. We'll do something. We'll keep it going. We will figure out. I mean, as we did 2 years ago, we will figure it out. We'll figure out something that makes sense, that works for our schedules, and we'll keep things going. So
yeah,
whatever that ends up being, whenever it ends up being, we'll be back.
We're there.
So we'll be there. So you want to take our listeners out?
Well, everybody, take care now. Bye then.
Laters on the Menche.